Is this thing on? Is this thing on? What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Trigger Mike. Welcome. Today is Wednesday, March 8th, 2023. I want to thank y'all for coming through and continue to rock with the Trigger Mike show on the Lapeef Network. It's a damn good day. Weather is still good out here. Sorry for those of you that are experiencing bad weather wherever you may be. If it's a good day where you're at, let me know in the chat. If it's a good day where you're at, let me know in the chat. It is a beautiful day here in the Houston area. These are the best days we're going to get. We get the smallest sliver of spring because the humidity is coming out any day now. You know about that Houston humidity. If you come down here just to go to camp and stunt with your refund check from taxes, let me know something. All right. So just want to say welcome to everybody on this good Wednesday. Hope your commute was good this morning. Let me tell y'all why we were late. Okay. We're not actually late in the back. Somebody's wifey, okay, has a notoriously bad habit of starting conversations in the back chat that span way past our start date. All right. We're going to get on her for that. But I thank y'all for your patience and thank you for continuing to tune into the show. Where are all my East Coasters at? New York, Philly, DMV area, Virginia 757, my home. All right. Charlotte, North Carolina, Raleigh, Durham. What's up? All my people in South Carolina, Georgia, Atlanta, Macon, all my Floridians, Miami, Tampa, Orlando. What's going on? Make our way over to the Southwest. NO, where you at? Texas. Then we go over to Arizona and California. We thank you for tuning in. Okay. Thank you for tuning in to the Trigger Mike Show. All of my Canadians, my UK people, my people in Africa watching, welcome to the Trigger Mike Show today. We got a good topic for you again. Another good topic. Don't forget about Boston. Wife school, I'm not going to lie. I forgot about Boston when Tom Brady left. I'm not going to lie. Well, y'all got Jason Tatum. Y'all might be all right. You got to get one championship. Then we'll talk about Boston again. All right. So let's see who we got in this chat. Mr. Rich, good morning to you. Bathshua, how you doing? Bathshua, you better get in on this topic right here. I want to hear from you on this. Daryl Brown, what's going on? Miss D, how you doing? Ennis Luby, how you doing? Hidden Gems, my man, what's going on? My man Frenchie K757, what's going on? In my hometown, chilling. Hope y'all making some noise out there. I'm hearing some things. It's crazy. It's wild in the 757 streets, or Hampton Roads, as we commonly call it. Miss Jill, how you doing? My man Granville, Leadership 22, what's going on? 4B Free, how you doing? All day, every day. Linda, how you doing? John God, Sherwin Thomas, Sparkle, UK in the building. All right, wife school is definitely repping for Boston. All right, Lacey, how you doing? My man King Spark, my man about to get married. Let me know. My man Mr. He said from Bed-Stuy. You know I was born in Bed-Stuy. Ebbets Field Projects, right by the Western Beef. Let me know if you know where that's at, Mr. He said. Is Western Beef still open? Is Western Bedford Avenue? Yeah, I was right off of Bedford Avenue. That's where I'm from. I left there when I was 5, though. I moved to Nigeria for a little bit. So yeah, originally from New York, raised in Virginia. All right. So, Bathshua said today is an office day, but we appreciate you anyway. All right, so listen. Today's topic is submission is not a curse word. Now, I know we've gone over submission, and sometimes we get a little deep on these topics and we lay into the women for, their lack of submission. But just as much as we want to do that, because I do believe shame is important, you're not going to get rid of shame on the Trigger Mike Show. Y'all know I'm Nigerian. We believe in shaming the hell out of people, everybody, men and women alike, for their transgressions in society. So we're not going to swear off shame on this show, but every once in a while we got to teach too. All right. I am a collegiate instructor by trade. That's one of my trades. So I will teach, I will lecture where I can. Okay. My man Moses, what's going on? Morning to you. I want you to get on this topic if you are as well. My man be working. He's working. All right. So I forgot who asked me. Maybe it was Peaches a while ago. Oh, my man, artwork. What's going on? What's going on? In Crown Heights. Indeed, indeed. So Peaches asked me a while ago. She said, make sure you define everything so we can understand that we are all where we at on the conversation. And she was right. So, in relation to marriage and committed relationships, anyway, what is submission? I actually pulled this definition from a Nigerian newspaper. Submission in marriage means selflessness, service, accountability, and respect for your partner, which should be mutual. It is not slavery or a woman's call to lose her voice. The fundamental rubric on which the Christian marriage is built is love. And love is anything but the desire to control. Damn, that's heavy. I ain't know my people thought that. Who wrote that? That was Nigerian. That's first off. Who wrote that? But anyway, I like that definition. I think that's why I'm going to rock with it. That's from The Guardian, Nigeria. All right. My man said advanced perception, hook you up with a gun holster. I'll do that. Let me know. Let me know what you I get free stuff from holster people all the time. Let me know what you're rocking. I'll try to get something out to you if they send me one for free. Another one. My man Dadley Pierre says, no, I am Yoruba. Yoruba? Okay. I'm not Igbo. I'm Yoruba. Got a lot of play cousins that's Igbo, though. A lot of play cousins. Because if we're actual cousins, then they would be Yoruba. But here are my thoughts on this. And JR, please drop the link and pin it to the top of the chat because I want to get in on this. This is not going to be a long monologue today because we got a lot of questions we want answered. And I want a diverse panel of diverse thinking on this topic because we're not just going to go into what we think about submission, how we're going to practice submission. I want to know how you're going to teach it to your kids. I want to know just exactly will you tell your children coming from this society in this day and age, how are you going to break through all of this fluff we got out here, all of this bad teaching? You know, your kids are out there over 8 hours a day. They spend more time out there in the world, all right, the secular world, than they do with you underneath your teaching. So, what exactly are we going to teach them? How aggressive are we going to be to infiltrate their mind so they can put off and swear off all that bad teaching? We got one hell of a job cut out for us, don't we? We got one hell of a time, an uphill battle to climb, but I believe we're going to get there. And it starts with this type of teaching. I've observed many things about the modern woman and submission. This particular topic is very important. The worst part about it is that many women pretend they don't want to submit openly to a man. If you agree with that, let me know. Women are actually very smart because I don't believe that women aren't submissive. And I'll get into more into that in a moment. Don't want to skip steps in my monologue. But many women pretend they don't want to submit openly to a man. And I believe this is a facade. I believe this is a facade. I really do. It's a facade. Because common misconceptions about about submission is that it's slavery. That is a common misconception. Very common misconception about submission in today's day and age. That's the word I keep hearing tossed around. is that submission is slavery. That just means that a woman doesn't understand. She didn't get a good enough education when she was younger from whoever was teaching her, or she's adapted to the feminist agenda and thinking in that way on purpose. I like the definition we gave better because I believe it's a facade. So we went over what submission means. So let's talk about what submission doesn't mean. Let's educate on that. Before I go, what doesn't submission mean? For those of you that are smart, those of you that are married, those of you that can offer some guidance to these young whippersnappers, what submission doesn't mean? All these common misconceptions. Tell them what it doesn't mean and how they're screwing it up and how they don't understand. Let me tell you what submission doesn't mean. It does not mean blind agreeableness. It doesn't. You just have to agree blindly. Okay? It does not mean that. I like what Bathsheba said here. She said submission does not mean being a doormat. Absolutely does not. 100% agree with that. It also doesn't mean that you lose your common sense as a woman or a man. It does not mean you do things that go against your common sense. It also does.
Bitch, I'ma go all the way up. They keep calling my phone. They catching on to the bus. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Well, I'm back. Damn. Where were we? Where were we? I appreciate y'all for sticking around. For those of y'all that stuck around on the show, thank you. Technical difficulties or something else, man. I don't even know any way around it. You just at the mercy of this stuff. This is the technology we have today and where we're at in today's society. But I thank y'all for sticking with me on the show. And let's get back into it. Where are we at the top? All right, so it said, all right, I'm back. Just making sure y'all can see me. My man Frenchie says, or Trigger Mike, we all know a non-submissive woman broke your CPU. It's not the computer, it's actually the it's the network. Xfinity. They breaking a lot of stuff out here. Because they keep building way back here in the neighborhood. They keep building, and they got to shut the network down every once in a while. They got to cut water off. They got to cut power to run lines or something, and then they'll be back on in a few hours. So something that they're doing is messing with this connection. I don't know what technical issues are involved or why they can't do that without cutting my power off. The worst part about all of this is that someone told me to get an Ethernet connection. I had an Ethernet adapter on my or hookup on my old computer. I get a new computer that's all thinned out, all new. It has none of that stuff. It only has USB Type C. So now I got to get a new computer that still has that Ethernet so this doesn't happen. What a world. What a world. All right. But we're going to keep things moving. Hopefully, let me take a look. JR, go ahead and drop that link for me. I'm going to be done with this in just a second. So what I want to really say is that submission is natural. That's kind of where we went off. Submission is natural. A lot of people say that submission is not natural, that it's something that needs to be taught. But my overall thought on this is that submission is natural. It is. I see it every day. The way people show respect, the way people lower their head, the way people say yes, sir, no, ma'am, all of that. Submission is natural. If you believe that, let me know in the chat. If you believe it's not natural, come on up and let me know. All right. So I also believe the modern woman is acting outside of her nature and has developed like a kind of conscious rebellion to authority. That's why I believe it's natural. That rebellious nature that we get where women are being super rebellious against the male. I think that is conscious. They're consciously doing that and consciously acting outside their nature. Modern women have been using the social and political climate to buck against authority. It's not how they naturally are. They understand that the getting is good right now. Okay? It's the sisterhood, as Bathshua said in the chat. It's the sisterhood. Not only are they using politics, they're using the social climate. They're using hate against men. They're using all type of movements to their advantage to buck against the system. This is not who they really are. It's not. This has become such a common practice that it seems to many men that submission from a woman is not natural. So I understand if you believe that no, it's not natural, bro. They got to be taught this. That's what it seems like. But nah, not really. It is natural. It is natural. Some men believe that it's a choice they can choose to be or not be. Yes, there is a choice, but they are choosing to act outside of their nature. Submission is absolutely natural. So why do so many modern women behave this way? If some of you have that question, it's because submission seems to be a direct contradiction to the independent woman movement. Put a one in the chat if you believe that. Submission is a direct contradiction to the independent woman movement. To that narrative, it is absolutely a contradiction. The one thing you can't do is be independent and submissive. Those two things, in the context that we're talking about, modern women, love, relationships, marriage, you can't be an independent woman and all that stands for, and a submissive woman. I believe it's also a part of this alpha female narrative. I don't think there is a phrase that I hate more in this life than the term alpha female. I cannot stand that term. Furthermore, alpha female, which is what I find so funny about the term alpha female, it's only regular ass women that use that word. Women that have any kind of influence or proxy power, they don't do that. I don't hear any of them. I don't think I've heard, correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I haven't heard Kamala Harris use that word. I haven't heard Susie Orman use that word. I haven't heard what are the conservative Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, women in government, women with real power. I haven't heard Sheila Jackson Lee use that word. I haven't heard Maxine Waters use that word. Alpha female. If I could be wrong, I could be wrong. But those narratives, I think women believe that they are contradictory. Let me explain something to you about why alpha female, that term is wrong. I I, I don't think women understand that. And this is actually men's fault. It's men's fault that this term exists and that women use it so broadly. It's men's fault because we keep saying the term alpha male. So naturally, when women want to separate themselves from male leadership, they are going to develop a term named alpha female. It's natural that they do that. But understand that There really cannot be ever be anything as an alpha female, because alpha is always going to get challenged. So if there is a such thing as an alpha female, it's literally a ticking time bomb to when a male is going to challenge her and take that position. Women don't even like being under the leadership of other women. So they're going to prey on you and get you out of that position. There's no such thing. There is only alpha, not alpha male, not alpha female. There is only alpha, and alpha will always be male. As you can see, the world over, the leaders are male. Men look to the alpha for leadership. Women do not like a woman being in leadership. That's all cap. They will not trust. They will not abide by the law. And if there is a male leader and a female leader, all women have to do is see enough women go over there, and then all of a sudden that female leader going to be stuck by herself. Let me explain further. I'm going to just take the most powerful woman in the free world, right? Kamala Harris is the vice president of the United States. This is more on this alpha female narrative, and it's also to the point of submission. Okay? Well, she was the Speaker of the House. Kamala Harris and Nancy Pelosi are not alpha females. They're not. They were number 2 and 3 most powerful people in the United States of America. President, Vice President, Speaker of the House. 2 out of those 3 of those people were women. So number 2 and number 3, powerful women in the world. Women in power understand submission better than you women. You want me to explain that in detail? I will. Women in powerful positions, such as vice president and speaker of the House, understand submission better than most women. That's how they got that power in the first place. They understand that power is only given to women by proxy, because women don't actually have power as we define it. They have influence. The power that you have is given to you proxy by a male. Okay? And it can just as easily be taken away. Women can learn a thing or two about submission from men. You can. You can absolutely learn a thing or two about submission from dudes, from fellas. Let me drop this link. Let y'all come up and chat with me. Let me know your thoughts. The link is dropped in the chat for those of you that want to come up. But I thought about this whole submission topic, and I thought, I don't think there's anything more submissive than a man. I think we model submission perfectly for women. A purpose-driven man can easily teach submission in today's age. A man that's purpose-driven to serve can easily model submission through his obedience. I tell y'all all the time, I am the most obedient child in my family. I have reaped benefits of that obedience tenfold to my peers who are disobedient members of their family. There's a bunch of stuff I can get into. But to the people that are disobedient members of their family, think about it. If you are an obedient member of your family, what do you have that they don't have? Men could teach you a thing or two about this submission thing. My thoughts and considerations on submission before I bring my people up. Submission is power. We need to stop looking at it as weakness. Ladies, do you need me to explain to you how powerful you can be through your submission? Let me explain it. I often use this scenario of 2 boys fighting over treasure. This treasure is worth millions of dollars. They're fighting by themselves. All of a sudden, a modern woman walks up and says, "Oh, they found the treasure. I want the treasure too. What should I do?" Most women will say, "Let me get down there and scrap with those boys. Let me get down there and throw some punches." So the modern woman does get down there, throws some punches, gets her ass laid out. And of course, one of the men win and take the treasure away. But a submissive woman understands that she's just going to wait for one of them to win. She's going to get a rag. She's going to wipe the blood off his face. Say, "What do you need me to do for you? Can I share this treasure with you? I can make you a nice home. I can make you a nice bed. I can lay and tend to your wounds. Can I share this treasure with you?" Him being so tired from the damn fight, he's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can share it with me. In fact, we could just be together and we can share it." That lady now has access to that treasure worth millions of dollars. She never had to throw a punch and she don't have a scratch on her. That is a metaphor for what submission can get you in this life. You don't ever have to throw a punch as a woman. Your power is in your submission. Good afternoon to all my peoples and good evening to my UK people out here. Welcome, welcome. Hey, what you got on the topic, John the Baptist? We'll start with you.
How you doing today, man?
Oh, I'm good now that my stuff back working.
Good. Yeah. It was down, but good to see you back up, man. Ready for a great show too. Uh, my opening subject, my opening line is going to be this. I think submission. I think submission is natural. All you gotta do is look at nature itself,
Mhm.
and how it moves to God, and how the earth moves around God. The earth, which we know is called Mother Earth, is powerful in itself, right? We think about the land mass and the ocean, and just think about the ocean itself, and how if the ocean gets out of line or out of control, it can cause havoc across the world. But it
Mm.
remains in submission to the authority, the great authority which God controls. But in itself, when Earth works in tune with God, it's a perfect combination. But when it get out of control, it's dangerous. So all you gotta do is look at the nature of life and the existence of nature, and you can see that its submission is natural. Everything must submit to something, and so it's natural.
Yep,
That's my
I agree.
piece.
Sparkle, how you doing?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
I'm doing well. What you got on the opening thoughts?
My opening thought is that submission is a beautiful thing. I mean, humility is a beautiful thing because it allows people to see a different element of strength. It takes a lot of strength to to literally humble yourself and to be led by someone. A lot of people have a misconception that submission is going to be for a woman, that you're going to be this voiceless, childlike character that isn't allowed an opinion, that's going to be dragged along kicking and screaming. When in truth, it just takes the heavy burdens off your shoulders and allows you to be in your feminine, and it allows you to be the best helpmate. We as women aren't supposed to be trying to run things and control everything. Like what you said in your opening monologue about this alpha woman comment, I've never heard of that before, but my first thought was that it sounds like an oxymoron, because as a female, how can you be alpha? It's totally anti a woman's nature to be alpha.
Mm-hmm.
So that whole concept just threw me. But I think you know, to go along with what you were saying about female leadership, those who are in female leadership, they don't run around speaking about it as, oh, I'm this big powerful leader, because they really and truly understand the pressures and responsibilities that it takes to be in that position. And I think there's a level of respect for those who have to take on that kind of work. But usually people who speak the loudest are usually the least confident and the ones that aren't doing the most work anyway, which you tend to hear with a lot of women that do this I'm a boss woman thing. When you look at them, really, okay, you got money, but where's everything else? So that's my opening thoughts.
Appreciate that. Mr. Rick. Oh, no, think King Spark. King Spark.
What's going on, Trigger Mike? Salute to the panel.
Salute, salute.
I would say my initial thoughts when hearing everything was that I don't understand why this submission thing is such a thing or such a term when naturally they say women are hypergamous, right? And they want to be with a man who's done better, has been more successful to the point that he can take care of you. Why would you even question for a second whether you should submit to him or not? He obviously know what the hell he doing. And I mean, those are my initial thoughts. So I don't see why it's such a big deal. It should be as natural as it should be as natural as your hypergamy, as natural as you know that you want somebody doing better than you, then that should be just as natural to come under that man's covering and submit to that man, because obviously he's gotten himself to a station of life that you're impressed with. So you should naturally submit to him, just as a coach submits to, or just as a player submits to a coach, and in all other forms of life. You submit to the person who's done better than you in that area without a problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel.
All right. Mr. Rich, opening thoughts.
How's everybody doing? Hey, listen, first of all, there's no such thing as an alpha female. Let me throw that out there. It's a social construct. It's a social construct that goes away as soon as the woman has relations with her husband or her man. Because there's no other more submissive position a woman could be in is when you're having relations with a man. I don't care what anybody says. That's one. Two, the word submission has been demonized by the feminists. And that's all that is. Right? Because their whole game is to break up couples and make women more powerful than men. So that's one part of it. And just as a little plug, my first crazy video on my channel was about what it means to be submissive. The only problem was it was a little harder than I should have made it. My brothers told me, I said, hey, what do you think about it? He said it was too profane. That's his only. But I thought it was pretty good because I started out with a definition like you did, and I went through it. But I also gave the example of a relational act between a man and a woman. And the whole punchline was a woman will do anything for you in the bedroom, but then she's going to give you some angst when you ask her to make you a sandwich. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense.
So that's, so I try to get that point across, but that's it. But that's my little opening salvo. Men just need to just be men and kind of ignore the bull crap. As much, just keep plowing forward in what we're trying to do with this kind of show and other content creators about us recapturing where we rightfully belong on the top of the food chain. It's as simple as that. That's it for me.
Agreed. Moses, what's going on, my man?
What's going on, everybody? Yeah, so Brother Mike, so this topic in mind is very good. I like it. Props to you. Shout out to y'all. Yeah, submission, like my brother just said just now, last brother, it's been demonized. Feminists took a lot of words and made it seem unredeemable. Like the word submission was used both in good and bad situations, but it doesn't mean the word is bad overall. I mean, obviously, men, we submit to propose to a woman for marriage, for long commitment, right? We have to submit to trust you to say we want you to be a part of our family. And that's always been the case for our generations. But if they really want to be honest about submission, ask them, do they submit to their boss? They say yes. Okay, so your boss tell you to be there at 7:30, you come here at 7 o'clock, right? So why can't you do that for the person that you're with in submission if that's the one you trust that you say you like. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't mean
Mhm.
control or take you down a level or make you feel like less of a person. Man, most of the women that say that, but I think we just got to be remembering that they don't understand. Like you said, there's a lack of knowledge there who don't understand because either from the bad experiences, they say like who hurt you type of thing, or we
Mhm.
ask the same question, who hurt you? Who took your submission and perverted it? You know what I'm saying? It's always been those questions we have to ask. Like, what happened in your life? What made you think this way to think this is a bad word? It's never been a bad word. It's just been misused in the life of somebody else. But that's pretty much where I'm looking at this perspective.
Indeed. All right, PH Diva. Good afternoon to you. What you got on the topic? Opening thoughts.
Okay. Actually, I agree with King Spark. So, women, hypergamy is the goal for women. And if you are able to attach yourself to a man who is able to take care of you, then I feel like most women probably wouldn't have an issue with submission. However, unfortunately, many women aren't able to achieve submission these days, right? So women are earning just about as much as men. Depending on where you are, women may actually earn more. So hypergamy is kind of out the window for most women. In which case, then what would be the use for or the benefit of submission, right? So if this man needs me to go out and work and match dollar for dollar for him, well, then clearly he don't know anything more than I know. And so why am I submitting to him? So that's my original thought. And I'm glad you enjoy it, Trigger Mike.
I do enjoy it because let me tell you why I enjoy it. Sometimes I forget why I started this show in the first place, PH Diva, and why this message is so necessary. Because what you just did really speaks to kind of the misunderstanding of why men and women exist on this earth. You just reduced us to money, which has absolutely nothing to do
Absolutely.
with the situation in which a woman is supposed to be submitting to a man. You just reduced us to that. Now, I want you to go on my Instagram when you get a chance and look at me rebutting something Kayla.com said. And it was about a man's protection and how we don't protect you anyway. We just call the cops. John the Baptist gave a beautiful explanation as to why women need to understand a man's value. If you don't understand the value of a man, you couldn't possibly understand this submission argument that we're trying to make. But I have questions actually that I've formulated that's going to kind of get over into it. So I'm not even going to spill too much into it. We're just going to go around.
Can
Because
I
we
ask
did that
PhD
on this
a
show.
question though? Are you married, PhD?
Why?
Because it'll go to me understanding the context of what you're saying. If you're not married, I would
The
think one
context
thing.
of what I'm saying is the context of what I'm saying. Like you
No,
don't
no,
need to know
no,
the
no,
details of my personal
I
life
know
to
we can.
understand what I just said.
No, I understand. Well, listen, I don't want to say anything to you that's out of context with where you're standing. If you're single, that's fine. I'm not trying to pass any dispersion. If you're single,
It's
that's
not
one
about that,
thing.
but so we talk about ideas and then y'all try to make it like a personal thing. It doesn't
It's
matter
not
whether I
y'all.
am or I'm
It's
not.
not y'all.
I
It's just an
still feel that's the way I feel. So it doesn't
I don't
matter.
think it's personal.
I hear you, but don't group me with
Well,
that. Just like
then don't
you
ask
don't
for
want
the
me.
personal details of my life if it's not
Oh,
personal. If
okay.
it's not
Listen,
personal, then that's irrelevant, right?
no, sister. All you had to do is say, "Listen, that's personal. It's none of your business." I would have
No,
stopped
I
it
just
right
said,
there.
why did you ask? And it's
Because
irrelevant. So we
but
can
I
move
asked
on.
because I didn't know that you would
Okay.
come off that way. So I just
That's
asked.
fine.
I took a
So
chance.
we can move
I
on.
took a chance and
Oh,
asked
no
you.
disrespect. No disrespect. I'm just saying it's irrelevant to the conversation.
Okay, fine. I'll take that. All right. So the bottom line is, you didn't make everything just transactional. If you aren't the kind of man that could give me everything I want, you can't get submission to me. That's what I got out of what you said. So I think that's wrong because even if I had a woman who was 50-50 with me, I would have to adjust my traditional thinking because the fact I'm sending her out there 40 to 60 hours a week. There's men who understand that. It's not like every man doesn't understand that if you have your wife being chased by the men around the desk to bring money home, you can't be this guy saying, listen, you got to cook and you got to clean, you got to take care of the business, your baby and everything, and go out and work. There's enough of us who understand that we have to adjust. And let me also say that submission ain't just for the woman. And I'm looking at something that's non-biblical, because a lot of guys try to throw the Bible at you. I submit to my wife every single day, but my ego is in check because I give her the 4 P's. I give her what she needs from me, and she doesn't have to ask for that, right? And she gives me what she gives me, and I don't have to ask for that because we've had such a history together. So it's not just a man lording over a wife. I mean, I tell you, I'm gonna shut up now. Let me say, no matter how I feel, when my wife comes home, I automatically feel better just because she's around. So it's not like just me. It's not like men against women. We need each other. We need each other for existence. That's the way it's been. Whether it's marriage or not, we need each other. I have an ongoing discussion with my female cousins. Some are married, some are single. And they're getting on my case because I'm a family advocate for marriage. And one cousin gave me a nice little soliloquy on why marriage isn't necessary. I told her, listen, I'm going to respond to you in writing. Let me shut up on this. Give me a second. I said, but you can't get my tone or my inflections over writing. But with all the debauchery, with all the tomfoolery that's going on in the Black community, there's no way I'm going to apologize for being an advocate for marriage. We need each other. So all I'm just trying to say is I understand a little bit better where you're coming from, but I like your position on stuff because it makes the panel better. It just does. So it's not an adversarial thing between what you say and your point of view, because if we can talk to you and you could talk to us, that's better for not just the audience, that's better for where we're going. So that's all I have to say.
All right,
let me shut up.
Trey just joined us. Trey, I got a question. The first question going around, and I want you to start first. Do you think a man should accept conditional submission from his woman?
Do I think he should accept it? No. Are there men out here in this world who are willing to accept it? Absolutely. They will take whatever part of submission they can get. They'll take it. But no, you shouldn't accept anything that comes with conditions at all, especially her level of submission. No disrespect to PhD, but I'm so glad that she said what she said. I'm so glad that she said what she said, because this is what's in the dating pool. This is what it's like to date women today. They think that submission has a dollar value assigned to it. There's a number assigned to it. And depending on how much money you make, depends on what level of submission she'll give you. That's a part of the conditional submission that a lot of women are giving you today. And there are a lot of men, modern day men, who are willing to accept it. They're going to take it. But no, they should not accept it.
Bet. All right, Callie Bev, do you think a man should accept conditional submission from his woman?
Damn. Hey y'all.
What up?
Hey.
I don't know. Y'all got some. I don't know what y'all talking about when it comes to submission anymore. So I don't know. But for me and mine, how we do it, no.
How you do it? All right, can you give a little bit of backstory? I thought, I did get interrupted by my lack of signal, but I thought I gave a good response. Let me just give you. I defined it first, so we won't have any confusion. I'm gonna read the definition we're dialoguing about right here. All right, so submission in marriage means selflessness, service, accountability, and respect for your partner, which should be mutual. It is not slavery or a woman's call to lose her voice. The fundamental rubric on which the Christian marriage is built is love, and love is anything but the desire to control. So that's where we're speaking from on this
Okay,
topic.
so both are submitting though.
Oh, that's an easy answer. The answer
At
is
the
no.
end, I
Ain't no
said, yeah.
unconditional. Ain't no conditional submission.
Say it again. I'm sorry, Callie Bev. Go ahead.
I said, based off of what you just read, then that's an easy answer. No, there's no conditional submission.
So a man should not accept conditional submission.
No.
All right. PhD, I don't know why you said you basically gave us the definition of conditional submission when you spoke. So I want to wait. In fact, go next. I want to hear your answer.
Well, no, so that's the thing. The definition that you just read, that's not the dictionary definition of submission, right? So the dictionary definition is to yield to the authority of another.
Okay.
Okay.
It is.
So
that is true. That is true.
Right.
I said in marriages and relationships, I gave like that definition. But let me stop you right there and let me ask you. So do you believe, I know that we live in, like somebody said it, Mr. Rich said, socially constructed society. But the people who believe in submission, they're more naturists. They have a more natural understanding of why to submit to a man. So do you think that without this social construct, a man is a natural authority figure over you?
So, okay. The definition that you read, both men and women in a relationship would be submitting to one another, correct?
No.
But you just said that both people would be doing those things.
No.
Both parties would be selfless. Both parties would be accountable. Both parties would be like, so both of those people would be submitting to each other.
Let me amend my statement. Both, a man does submit. I don't like to say, when we say a man submits to a woman, there is a lot of context there, because he is not submitting to you the way you are submitting to him. A man does not submit to a woman's authority. A woman submits to a man's authority.
But the definition you read didn't include the word authority.
No, it didn't. It didn't.
Right. So now what are we talking about? Are we talking about that, or are we talking about the definition in the dictionary?
Yeah. But what we're saying here, because we can get, that's actually another question geared toward the men. It's actually the next question. But women, they're part of it. We both submit in the relationship, in the marriage, in a committed relationship. Both are submitting somewhere, are making concessions and sacrifices somewhere. But it is not equal, a like for like exchange of submission between both people.
Right. So
yeah, go ahead.
Then we're not talking about that definition that you read, correct? We're talking more so about the dictionary definition, because from what you said, both would be selfless, both would be accountable, both would, love. And so both parties would be doing that. So if that's the definition of submission that we're using, then both parties would be submitting.
Yeah, Mike, let me add on that one real quick. I mean, I'm not a biblical guy, but PhD Diva, I'm reading just the top line. It says a biblical concept of submission simply means to willfully deploy one's self in service to their partner. That's what it starts with. So
that's not what he read.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm giving you another definition.
Right, but if he says this is the definition we're using,
get out of control.
Then why are we trying to maneuver and then take all these other definitions into account? Like, what are we talking about? I'm just trying to get the definition. What are we talking about?
What I'm saying is that when you have a word,
hold on, Mr. Rich. Can you read that definition again? We're going to use that definition. I like that one better.
Oh, here we go.
No, I like that one better.
PhD Diva, I'm trying to say that there's enough men who understand that there's a certain type of submission a man gives to the woman that he loves.
That's fine.
Right?
I'm just saying, if we start with one definition and now we're moving to another one because that one didn't quite capture what it is and the level of yielding to the man's authority, which is the dictionary definition, which is basically what you mean, but you're trying to dress it up.
Right, let me break it down.
No.
Not you. I'm talking to Trigger Mike. I'm not talking to you.
Let me break it down, because this was supposed to be a step-by-step process, so I don't want to get tripped up here. Let me just ask you the basic question. Are women supposed to yield to male authority? Yes or no?
Oh, you asking me this?
Yes.
Okay. As a general rule,
Yes.
no.
Okay.
No.
We're gonna move on, and then we're gonna get around to other. That is the definition of conditional submission. All right.
Okay.
But
all right,
we're gonna go around. King Spark, what you got on it? Do you think a man should accept conditional submission from his woman?
Or we change the order?
I do.
Oh, my bad. I'm coming to you next.
I do in the sense of you're supposed to be handling your business at all times. You know what I'm saying? So if you start turning down a path to where shit's fucked up and you're not handling your business and you about to drive the car off the road, then I don't believe she should be submitting at that time. You should have to show and prove week in, week out, day in, day out that you on task, you disciplined, you handling your business, you making shit happen, right? And therefore she should submit to you. But if a man starts slipping, right, it could be dangerous if you just say submit to him no matter what he doing, and he's smoking crack and playing the game and ain't paying the bills, and then slap you around the house because you won't submit. That's ludicrous. So yeah, it should be conditional upon you handling your business. It's almost like, I forget the name of the movie, but it was a movie with Denzel and Gene Hackman on a submarine, right? And it's like, we gonna listen to you and I think you about to get us killed. That's when the submission has to stop.
Submarine,
right? And we need to
Crimson Tide.
We need to recalibrate this situation. So I believe that that submission thing should be contingent upon you handling your business and steering the ship and guiding the ship and keep it in the best interest of both parties at all times.
All right, a follow-up question.
Go ahead.
Do you think that if you give women a gray response like that, do you think they're more likely to respect you or take advantage of the fact that they could submit to you at any time and withdraw their submission?
It's not at any time. Like I said, it's only contingent upon you handling your business.
But
so the only time they
she
can
gets to
enact the
decide.
rule is if you fucking up. No, she doesn't.
So this is why you've heard me say on 1,000 times, it has to be black and white.
No.
Because what you just did was say she gets to decide when you fuck it up. That's what you do when you give women gray instructions. She gets to decide
what he
now.
said, though.
Hang on. Wait a minute.
It should be okay.
You telling me that a woman can't decide or can't see when her man is fucking up?
Listen. Y'all know I'm not about to sit here and advocate for screw ups. That's not what I'm doing. What we do is now we live in a society where everybody's literally working in the gray. I'm going to decide when I'm going to submit. I'm going to decide when I'm going to leave a good man because I just want control of the kids. I'm going to decide that I want to work more and I don't want to listen and I don't want to cook. The society is your example. The divorce rate is your example. When you don't give women clear instructions and you don't make it black and white, they will take advantage. What do y'all got?
Okay, Mike. This is what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm gonna just say this real quick. When you say that in the beginning of the relationship, right? Y'all should outline the structure of the relationship and what's supposed to happen and what's not supposed to happen, right? So if anybody comes off of that, that's what's deciding of you not handling your business, because there's already been a structure and a foundation set. So it's not just a freelance, I decide today that you ain't handling your business. If you can go back to the structure and you could show me what I said that I was going to do that I'm not doing, then I understand you stepping in.
Let me give a more substantive rebuttal to this, just so we don't get our wires crossed. If your wife stops having sex with you, are you going to stop paying the mortgage?
No.
She working to pay it too, though.
Wait.
Maybe she is. She might
So
not.
we supposed to let the house get foreclosed on because she ain't giving no pussy. He gonna be outside too.
Hold on,
that don't make no sense, Trigger Mike.
Hold on, Cali Bev. If you're the one buying the groceries, King Spark, if she stops cooking, are you gonna stop buying the groceries?
If she stops cooking, yeah.
Okay, you just a savage.
Because what am I doing? I'm just
nothing about your position. Hold on. Nothing about your position in your family is conditional. So why the hell would you ever make her anything about her conditional?
What do you mean nothing about your family's conditional?
You are not allowed to change course at all as a man. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you got to keep grinding. Go ahead.
Let me get to John the Baptist, then we're gonna go to. Yeah, I messed it up. It's my fault. Let me get to John the Baptist, then Sparkle, and then we're gonna go around like that. John the Baptist.
So the question is, should we what?
Do you think a man should accept conditional submission from his woman?
So with GED terms, should a man negotiate conditions with his spouse?
Sound good to me.
A man should never negotiate conditions with his spouse. Should never accept conditional submission. And it's a simple fact is, once you begin to negotiate, you put yourself in a position of weakness.
Yeah.
And you never want to negotiate from a position of weakness. You want to always be in a position of strength. So let me say this.
John the Baptist, are you married?
For 28 years.
Okay. All right. I just need to know. I mean, I know PhD Diva didn't want to tell me, but I just want to know frame of reference of who I'm talking to. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I hear you. I'm sorry for
the record, Mr. Payne, because before you ask me, I am not married. Before you ask me.
I mean, am I out of step by asking that?
Everybody,
I got
put your
signal right now
in your name.
I got a full signal right now. Hold on. Let me come back.
Oh, wait, what? Oh.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we hear your dictatorship
so let me say this.
over there.
Let me say this. You can always. I've been.
I'm just fucking with you. I mean, I'm just messing with you, John. I'm in a good mood today.
She ain't messing with you. John the Baptist, you there? Oh yeah, his signal went out.
I can't.
Right,
I didn't hear what she said anyway, so it's okay. Yeah, I didn't hear what she said anyway. So anyway, though, like I'm saying, I can always tell men who've been raised by feminists and under the feminist ideology because it comes out in the way they talk. You never negotiate with a woman or on the conditions of your marriage. There's understood. It's already written and understood what marriage is and the roles of marriage, and that's not negotiable. Whenever you negotiate, as I was saying earlier, as you negotiate, you're going to find yourself negotiating from a position of weakness because you're going to be moved by how you feel at the moment. You never move on how you feel. You move on what needs to be done and how it needs to be done. How she interprets what needs to be done is clueless because she's looking at it from her position as a woman. Her position as a woman is naturally designed to nurture, and she's going to nurture for the things that she care about. It's not a man's job to nurture. It's a man's job to go out and to provide and protect. So understanding your roles is how you move. It's not negotiation.
Bet. Sparkle.
If a woman is truly operating in her nature, then this won't be a problem. And what I mean, everybody likes to throw around the term women are hypergamous. When most people in these spaces say that, I hope they realize that they're referencing financial hypergamy, because the dictionary definition of hypergamy actually says the action of marrying or forming a sexual relationship with a person of superior sociological or educational background. So if a woman is operating within hypergamy and has vetted her man correctly, she won't have a problem submitting to him because he will be in all those positions. If you're only operating from a financial standpoint and you earn more and now I can't submit to you because I earn more than you, that's not properly hypergamous anyway. That's just wielding financial power. So in my opinion, and I say this with all due respect to everyone in the chat and otherwise, if you're a woman who's correctly vetted and you truly trust, love and respect your man, you won't have a problem submitting to him when it comes to authority. I think it's only when you try to wield control in an authoritative way or in a financial way that couples butt heads like this. If you're operating in your true nature as male and female, it will be within that order anyway, in my opinion.
Bet. Mr. Rich.
Yeah, let me first start out by saying that all this thing about dictatorship is just absolute complete horseshit. Or you know what I'm saying? If you have a wife that when you assume leadership, you have to also assume that you don't know everything, right? I vetted my wife. I know where she's coming from, and she's almost a complete submissive to me. But and she's never had to go through a day where we would lose a house, lose a car, lose all that kind of stuff. So I don't have to worry about conditional kind of thing. But life is in the gray areas. Anybody who tells me life is black and white is a fool. You got to be able to navigate the gray areas and put it on track. So we have our life is based on the tracks that I laid down. Period. And sometimes you have to make mid-course corrections, but it depends on what kind of corrections you're talking about. So when I hear somebody say, well, my wife, even with Anton Daniels, he's a multi-millionaire, he's the man, he'll slug and shit. If you think Rita never had anything that made him say, you know what, let me think about that, then I think we're just fooling ourselves. It's not reality. So it doesn't make a man weak if he has a wife that he wants to make a mid-course correction. It depends on what the correction is. If you're going in a direction and you need to add something on and makes things better, and she told you that, what's wrong with accepting that? If she's trying to tell you your plan sucks and you want to, well, before you guys go on somewhere, go crazy. How the hell you expect to exist with a sentient being thinking that she's just going to fucking do what you're going to say every goddamn day of the minute? I mean, it just doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Thank you, Brother Payne. Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to keep going. You're doing great. Go keep going.
That doesn't make a man weak to have a woman who's behind him who has her own thought process. Now, listen, I married the woman I married because I couldn't marry a woman that's going to give me shit and it won't give me peace. I knew that when I was going through the vetting process, right? But that doesn't mean my wife is is just somebody who can't think. She's college educated. She did all this kind of stuff, but she gives me what I need. So if we go down the things that I need, she knows how to keep my ego in check. I can leave the house with my dick, right, without her worrying about it. And, she gives me, if I need sex, I can get it. If I need nurturing, I can get it. If I need food, I can get it. I'm fat as hell and shit, but probably because I cook too much. But I'm just saying, what else you need to do? So I think everybody's just thinking too goddamn much. Now, we don't have to go to the PhD for end. It's just completely, if you don't make enough money, you don't get shit out of me. I don't agree with that. But so I just think we can go back and forth and we don't have to agree on 100 things. But hey, man, I've been married for a long time. It's almost like John the Baptist said he is for us. I just don't believe him that he's just whipping his wife with a chain with the little fucking things on the end so her back is bleeding so she could be in line. I don't believe that. I
don't know. Hold on, Mr. Ray. I don't know if that's not what I heard at all.
That's what I heard.
That's not what I heard.
That's what I heard too.
Of course you did. Of course you did. Kelly.
I heard Color Purple.
Forget about the women. From a man's point of view, when you say that my shit goes and you don't got no goddamn say, because that doesn't make any sense to me.
Let me try to explain what I heard. Let me try to explain what I heard. Okay, so and this is what I hear on most of these conversations. Because when we say it's not a negotiation, naturally, even with the term dictator, dictators have advisors, right? Emperor, like let me make a example out of what is his name, Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome. right? He's an emperor, but he humbled himself to the point that every time a citizen bowed or gave him praise, he ordered a servant to say, "You're just a man," in his ear. "You're just a man." So but what I took that to mean, and what I took John the Baptist to mean, is that if you negotiate with a
I can speak
woman,
for myself
she's
if
going
you
to
let me.
negotiate who's emperor. I'm always the emperor.
Yeah, but
And
that's
I
not
No,
get,
what
hold
we
on, hold on,
see
hold
no,
on.
at a
that's not what
different
we saying,
level.
Okay, so
Mike.
then what is
Hold
the
on.
wife?
That's not what we saying,
No,
Mike.
this
That's
is
not
what
what
I'm
we
saying.
saying.
What I'm saying
That's
is,
not negotiable. The emperor ain't negotiable.
I didn't
no,
say I
no,
don't say my
That's
position
not
in leadership is
negotiable.
And
negotiable.
neither is his authority. That's the point you
exactly.
guys are
In the
skipping.
theory,
So,
His
that's not
authority is
either.
not
That's
negotiable
not it
either.
either.
But I will hear.
Yeah,
I
but
will
that
hear
woman
if
is
I'm a
there too.
coach.
no,
Listen, I'm a coach. Like,
no,
listen,
this is
I'm a
what we're
coach, Mike.
saying. This is what we're
Listen,
saying.
be critical, Mike. I'm a coach, right?
What I heard from John the Baptist was, when he says non-negotiable, that's what I mean. Right now in society, women are debating who gets the final say.
No, that's not
They,
what we
they,
talking
That's
about.
not what
That's
he
not what I
well,
said.
meant.
that's
That's
what
not what I
I
meant.
believe it to mean.
That's
So
not.
what I heard him
That's not what I
say
meant.
was that there is no negotiating who gets the final say. The
No,
husband
That's not what
always
I
gets the
heard.
final
I
say.
can
no,
speak. I
no,
can
no,
speak. I
no.
don't care. Okay, so I
But
can
when it
speak for
gets back
myself.
to you, you can speak.
Go ahead,
I
John.
Go ahead.
well, no, you talking about me, so you're talking
What
about
did
me.
John talk about?
So I'm gonna talk
Okay,
right
go ahead,
now
my
because you're
man. Go
talking
ahead, my
about
man.
me.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So the question was, repeat the question one more time, Trigger Mike. Repeat the question, please.
Do you think a man should accept conditional submission from his woman?
Okay, and my answer to that question is no. And the reason why I answer that question is because we don't operate under the notion of condition. We don't negotiate. We don't. This is our roles are already set. Now, in that does not mean I never did say you heard what you wanted to hear. I never did say I don't ask my wife her opinion. What I said is we don't negotiate the condition of submission.
That's bullshit,
It
though, man. It's you don't
hey
negotiate the
dude, hey
condition
dude, hey
of
dude, hey dude,
leadership.
hey dude, hey
You
dude, hey
don't you
dude,
don't you don't
hey
you don't
dude, hey
condition
dude, hey
submission.
dude, hey dude, hey
Admit they ain't
dude,
good
hey
to you.
dude,
But
hey
the
dude, hey
question is
dude, hey
submission, not
dude,
leadership.
hey
All right, one mic.
hey
One mic.
hey
John
dude,
Baptist, go
hey
ahead.
dude. You're not
Okay.
in my house, bro. You're not in my house, bro. You run your house and I run my house.
Yeah. You run your house just like I run mine. That's why you banned for 27 years.
What I
It's
said
not
to you, what I'm saying is,
it's leadership that's not
I'll let you have it.
conditional.
I'll let you have it, Trick. I'm done. I'll let you have it, Trick. I just sit
No,
back in the
don't
back.
leave. I'll shut up. Go ahead, John.
Hey, Trigger, can I say something? Because a lot of the issue and with Mr. Payne is that it's not that his perspectives are incorrect or wrong; they're outdated. A lot of what the perspective is it's outdated. In
That's bullshit.
2023, PhDiva just proved it to you. She just said it. In 2023, submission has a price tag. It has a price tag. And if
That's
you
from
have the
her.
right, if you, sir,
That's,
are you dating? Are you dating in this environment?
The way
listen,
y'all
man,
talk
I
about
live
it,
in
it
this
sounds like it's got a
environment.
Hang on,
price tag.
hang on,
No,
Mr. Payne.
I'm
Are
I'm
you,
not
just being
dating
Mr.
in
No,
real.
this
you're
space.
not.
The
No,
way I
you're
hear
not.
men talk about it in these
I
spaces, it
am.
sounds like
I
it's a
am.
price tag
I am
attached
dating
to
in
it.
this environment, and I'm telling you, the women today, because they are making more money, they have more freedom of choice than they've ever had before. They make more money in some states and some cities than the men do. They attach their submission to a price tag. If you make a certain amount of money, if you have a certain amount of status and clout, you will have no issues from them at all, none. But if you're a type of guy who makes $50,000, $60,000 a year and thinking you're going to get complete and utter submission from a woman who is also making $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year, it ain't happening, champ.
But Trey,
It's
that's
not
the
What
happening.
would be the
problem. That's the
basis of it?
problem. That's the
It's not,
problem.
but it's not about that. It's not about the
Trey,
problem.
Trey, that's
We
the
understand,
problem.
but King Spark,
Trey,
we
listen.
understand the problem.
No,
We
no.
understand the problem.
Listen.
But
What
if you keep getting, hang on, if you
I
keep
heard what you
getting on,
said.
if you keep getting on panels and keep giving, advice from 1823 and not 2023, then we have issues.
Listen,
We have issues. Nothing's
listen.
going to get fixed.
Trey,
You're
Trey,
wrong,
Trey.
though,
Listen what
brother.
you said. The problem with what you said was a man who makes 50 or 60 trying to get that submission out of a woman who makes 50 or 60. That's the problem. If you're only making 50 or 60, you should be dating the chick at Starbucks. You shouldn't be dating
Right.
nobody that makes 60.
What?
Okay, that's the
Right.
problem. That's the
Can I,
problem. So,
why
and if you can't
King
is
get
Spark, you
that
with
about to
that
get
shit,
muted. No, you
if
did
why
not.
is that the
if you can't
problem?
get
Why
with that,
is
if
it
you can't
always
get with
boiled down?
that,
Why is it
get
always
Hold
boiled down
on.
to finance?
you said
Yo,
No, no,
what?
no.
so King
Down to
Spark, what you just did is say
Because that's the number one reason for
there is
divorce.
no man in the United States that makes, I'm sorry, the average man in the United States doesn't make $60,000.
I don't speak from average.
Oh, here you go.
I'm just saying I don't speak from average.
No,
but
you and PhD married today,
right?
Y'all married today.
Let me ask you straight. Let me tell you, if you're making 60 and your wife is making 60, that doesn't mean you can't have leadership. Right? I didn't ask my wife for leadership. I just assumed it. Let's just put the money in there. If I had a wife making as much as me, when I first started marrying my wife, she made like maybe 10% less than I did when we first got married. Right? But I didn't ask her whether she could lead or not. I just assumed leadership.
Mr. Payne, Mr. Payne, which century are we talking about?
Can I finish?
Which century? No, I'm asking for context. You ask for context. You asking people if they married. You asking people if they married. I'm asking for context. Which century are we?
Y'all being weird right now.
Are we in the 20th century? Are we in the 19th century? Which century are we in?
Men haven't changed. Men are men. A leadership is leadership. It goes through the centuries. It doesn't change. I mean,
it has changed.
Listen,
you would know that if you dated. You don't know that.
Let me go after Spark.
The question was about submission, not leadership.
I have a question.
Right, let's get some new voices in here. Go ahead.
What is submission? What is submission based on today? Because previously it was based on the fact that men were the ones who were educated. Girls typically weren't as educated as males. They were the ones that went out into the world and, conducted business or did these things. And so today, when women are equally, if not more educated and go out into the world and do things just as much as men do. So what is the basis for women submitting to men?
Listen, everybody bow your heads in prayer as we say this prayer over.
This is why you don't negotiate. This is why you
everybody bow your heads. You did it again.
If it makes sense, then you should be able to explain it.
Nothing you said, like literally not one word that you said is anything resembling in the arena of a committed relationship or marriage about what submission actually means and what it is for.
I'm saying
contingent
the
on
reason they did it. If the men know more, then of course you're going to submit. But if the man doesn't know more, then what are you submitting for?
PhD Diva. So the worst part about it is that whether it's biblical or even secular, it doesn't mean that. Right? So the bad part about it is that you are doing this thing that feminists do, where they assume because men have always been in charge, it had to do with money. You assume because men were the ones out working and women weren't, that's the reason why women submit to us. Women submit to men naturally. Once you come under the covering of a man, it is better for your life. It is better for the life of your children. It is better for a community. Remember, I want you to understand, this is Trigger Mike's. You can put air quotes around this. When men and even women in society throughout the world understand that when you empower a man, men create families, which then create communities. And when you empower women, you destroy families. The Black community is a 100% representation of what I just said. This is why women in every other ethnic group submit to men. I don't want to destroy a family. I want to create one. Because if you give a woman power, she's going to do what you just did and whittle everyone down in society to a dollar amount.
I agree with you, Mike.
I wasn't just talking about a dollar amount. I'm talking about what you said. The man makes the decisions ultimately, right? So he's the leader. He's the head. The head is the brains of the operation. And so on what basis are men just across the board
let me
brains of the operation?
Let me ask you a question. You told me you were a statistician once. Mm-hmm. Who owns the company that you work for? A man. Let's not
absolutely not. Actually, no.
If a man don't own the company, he owns the conglomerate that owns the company. So you're always under the covering of something a man did.
No. So what that got to do with the individual dumb man?
If you actively held women back for hundreds of years, then it's kind of weird to say that, right? So women were prevented for many years from doing certain things. Right, women could just get a bank account by themselves in the 70s. So
what's your point, women should be in charge of the family.
Hang on.
That's not what I'm saying. I am a proponent of mutual cooperation and people coming together and making decisions together. So what I'm saying is
this is a better follow-up question. In the family, are men and women equal? Are we equal, or is the man dominant? in the family?
Male is dominant. Everybody
None of
knows
the
that.
No,
above.
this is for PH Diva. This is for PH Diva. Somebody got to be the dominant. Ain't no equal. Somebody got to be the dominant. That is a fact of life. There's no such thing as an alpha female. Therefore, someone must be alpha.
There's
Is
no
it
such thing as an
equal?
alpha anything.
Yeah, what the
Wow.
fuck? You are an animal.
No,
We are
if
all
you go
animals.
back and look, the scientist who
No,
the animal
that
behaviorist
was
who came up with that went back and
that
said
was
that he
someone
misunderstood
trying
what was
to
going on.
debunk.
There is no alpha.
No, that was someone trying to debunk something, and that person I believe was queer.
Hang on, listen,
I don't think so.
listen. Everybody
I
needs
don't listen to
to
queers about hetero strategy.
No, but hang on, listen. Firstly, this complete competition over power is exhausting. This is why someone has to lead. But what I will say is, in a kingdom, if we're going to break it down to these kind of topics, because I heard what Mike said the other day about what was it, Happy Kingdom.
Yeah.
In a kingdom,
Shout out to JC.
there's a king and there's a queen, right? Both powerful, but the king's always that bit more powerful. Being submissive doesn't mean that you lose all power, and it doesn't mean that you lose all control. It just means that you allow someone else to take the leadership role. I don't understand why so many women have this thought about, oh, if I'm submissive, I'm going to be trodden on. No one's going to want to hear what I have to say. Nobody's going to want to consult with me. I just have to go along to get along. That is not the case. I tell you this, right? Because you can tell I'm a very outspoken, strong-minded woman. I'm still led by my husband, but that doesn't mean he doesn't consult with me, ask my opinion, ask my thoughts on things, ask for me to pray on things with him. You name it. I'm involved, but he's leading. I don't see why there's such a fight. Why do women have to fight men? Remember, it's a man's natural nature to lead. It's a natural nature for women to follow. What's the problem?
You know
Okay,
why?
I don't believe that.
Because
You know what?
Because they make it sound horrible. I'm gonna tell you why. Because when they talk about it on these panels and in these spaces, they make it sound like some bullshit that you don't want no part of.
I hear what you're saying.
Hold on.
I think they're just expressing themselves, but I believe that in individual relationships, you are going to add that level of love and care to your wife. So if you don't understand that, like, just keeping it simple, like I talked to my cousin one day. I was doing some content on TikTok, and I was like, submission is good. It doesn't take anything from you. It's actually very beautiful when you submit to your role in a relationship. She's like, you know what? I like your stuff, but I ain't getting with that submission stuff. I'm like, well, what do you mean? So then I broke it down in the context of submitting to, a job. Sometimes the conditions are miserable, but what do? You perform in your role. And just deducing it down, we should submit. If it's so bad, if you can't talk about a man or a woman, submit to your role as a wife.
I will say this, wife.
As the label as a wife. Submit to the job description of a wife. What does a wife do? Submit to that. And usually it'll take you far.
Because Callie's right in what she's saying to a degree. The way a lot of men talk about this, it does have a tinge of misogyny involved, right? Now, I don't know if that's just because men have a more aggressive delivery or not, but that doesn't mean that they mean it that way.
Yeah, okay, so then don't take it personal. So that's the other thing. So like if you're feminine and if you know how a man operates, it's not going to be a personal thing to you. It's not going to offend you. I know that you lead. I know you got that testosterone. Okay. So it ain't going to mean no thing to me. I'm going to submit to Trey. Me and Trey, some things I don't agree with him, but I submit to him and I respect him as a man. And that takes nothing from me. And we can have a decent conversation, even if we're totally on opposite sides of the argument. Because I know my role as a woman is not to.
I think too many people are talking about submission in a relationship as if there's no love or care involved. Because when there is love involved, you're not going to be disrespected. If you're submitting, you're not disrespecting yourself. There's a real problem.
Yeah, you have to find a man that respects you. Yep.
Right. So, I think people misunderstand submission and they feel that it's a form of control.
Yeah, when they talk about it, there is no there is no love or care
Right.
at all
Okay.
expressed when they talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
Because
So it's
because
like,
a woman
Okay.
probably been a savage and did him wrong. So that's his view on it.
well,
She
I mean,
probably took him through the cleaners.
Y'all are giving all right. One mic.
yeah,
One mic.
that's true.
One
But
mic.
we can only go
Y'all
off
are
of whatever
giving
they
a
say.
good segue into the next question. We're gonna start with.
I ain't said nothing.
I ain't said nothing. This guy. We're gonna start with King's Park. No, it needed to be a man. So, how do men submit in relationships and marriages? King's Park, you go first.
I think they submit in the sense of just like the will to please your woman, the will to protect your woman, the will to put a smile on her face. I know what will put a smile on her face. I know what will make her warm and fuzzy inside. You know, I know what will make her feel protected. So I submit to that. I submit to that will.
Okay. Let's get one more dude in here. Trey. How do men submit in relationships? Before I let the ladies go.
Submission to me in any relationship I've ever been in is me telling her straight up that I got you, and nothing's gonna happen to you. I'm gonna make sure you're well taken care of. I'm gonna make sure you have everything that you need going forward. And if it's something that I can't get, I probably know somebody that can help me get it. That's what I think when I think submission, because there's only one woman that's going to get that. Nobody else gets that. That's a sacred space, and it's only you inside of that space. You're the only person who has that sort of pull with me. And I used to tell that to my daughters all the time. You're the only person who can say these things to me, because I would never let anybody else say these things to me, right? And the other thing too is that you're the only person I'm actually going to seek counsel. I will actually go to you and say, hey, what do you think about this? I'm just thinking about this, and this. What's your views on it? And I'm actually going to listen to you, because we are in the same house. We are in a relationship, and this could have as much of an effect on you as it could have on me. So I do want your counsel. I do want to hear what you have to say. But at the end of the day, let's be very clear. It's my decision to make. But I do want to hear what you have to say on it, because it does affect you. That's how I see submission.
You
Okay,
right, Trey.
I got you. That was a good one. All right, Wife School, welcome.
Hola.
Just kind of popped in on the last one, so I want to give you a fresh topic. How do you think men submit in relationships and marriages?
Definitely big on their the way they submit is their protection, their provision, their covering, you know, their compassion, their romance, you know, I love that. Ow. Their leadership, you know, because, you know, a man is like an extension. If you had the privilege of having a father, it's like an extension of your dad. It's like he's stepping in now to take care of you and be there for you and provide for you, your offspring, all those things to make you feel safe, that safety. And I believe men submit in that way, because it is hard enough to go out there and try to make $1 out of 15 cents. If y'all talking about, you know, everybody, men don't make as much money, but they're doing their best. And just the fact that he's masculine and showing up for you and being consistent, that's how he submits.
All right. PH Diva, what you got?
So I'll say what I heard a man say. He was the only man who ever spoke of submission in a way that I could say, you know what?
In the way that you liked, don't lie. In the way that you liked. That's
right. So he said that a man's role in submission is that he has to, his needs and desires come behind everyone else's in the household. So he comes last. He also said that as a man, in order to be worthy of submission, he has to be able to die of the flesh daily. And I know everybody's a biblical scholar now, so everybody understands that reference. So you don't understand die of the flesh daily? Yeah, so there's a verse in the Bible where it speaks of, you know, being able to die of the flesh, basically being able to not submit to your desires.
It's submission. Yeah, it's another
right. Not submit to your desires.
Yeah, so it's like stoicism mixed with just putting off any bullshit, like being a mature man. Yeah.
So
okay,
I think that's the man's role.
I want to comment on that. I'll give my response. I don't think enough women understand that that's what most men are doing anyway. It's only, hold on, I know you have a rebuttal. There is an overrepresentation of men that don't do that. And unfortunately, those are the men that certain groups of women want to associate with. So when they say y'all need to talk to the men, you're asking men who die of the flesh every day, submit themselves totally to the protection and provision of their family. And I'm going to add, submit themselves to the role as an authority figure. What I mean by that is that when we talk about negotiating who's the authority figure, we need to address the part that women don't even want to be authority figures. It scares the shit out of you. You don't want to be in charge of nothing because y'all don't want to be blamed for nothing. I have to take full control, and it makes my stomach hurt. Let me tell you something I don't say out loud very often. My father-in-law loves me. He's always glowing about me. Michael, do it. Michael, take care of it. That shit gives me the runs. It gives me the bubblies, how much pressure it is to live up to this man's expectations. Women don't want that type of authority. Stop capping. You don't want to have to perform at 100% accuracy all the goddamn time. You don't want that.
Most men aren't, though.
So I have to, if you don't stop with the terrorism right now, most men have to submit to that fact that I can't mess this up. I always got to be on 10. I always got to be accurate. Too much is at stake. If I fail, that will make someone sick. Women don't want that type of pressure. On God, y'all don't want it. That's what I mean by submitting to the fact that you are an authority figure, whether you like it or not. Do you know when we say submit or to the fact that we are a protector and a provider? I thought about this once. It was crazy. I said, do you know how stupid a man has to be? And you said this, PhD, because I agreed with everything you said. A man his whole check goes to things that are dealing with everyone else before he gets a damn thing. The roof over your children's head. I yelled at my daughter because she likes squeezing out the toothpaste on the tube to brush her doll's teeth. I said, this toothpaste costs money. Right? But I give to everybody else's needs before I can do anything for myself. Do you know how idiotic that is? When I can just take all my provision and go buy a big ass house and all the sneakers that I want and have sex with all the women I want. You know how idiotic it is to submit yourself to the provision of other people?
Mike, it's not idiotic, it's love. That's what you do.
But I'm saying it in a different way. You know, that's what I mean. Yeah. But in a different way. Do you know how many other things we could be doing? So you could learn, people, not you, but people could learn a thing or two about submission from a good man. We give up everything for the family, right? That's all I got on it. My mic is muted. Who's next?
Well, so Mike, I think one thing is that we talk about these topics in kind of an abstract way. And so maybe having some like real life, examples of what, women are having to submit to. I don't know. I think that would be helpful.
Is it my turn?
Go ahead.
Yeah, as long as it's updated. As long as it's updated and from this century, I'm good.
Let me stop calling me
Trey,
a dinosaur.
Trey trolling you, David.
You can troll me all you want because everything I'm saying is mine, right? Let me just give you my little story, right? And with again, just a little story about having a dog. My wife asked me to buy a dog. Okay, I got her and 2 daughters. I told her, I says, just no freaking way we're getting a dog, right? Because the last thing I need to do in a place where I'm spending the mortgage is to have you, my daughters, the dog, and then me at the end of that damn list. So I'm not going to be in my own house and be lower than a dog. So we ain't getting a dog. And so we never got one. Because, of course, everything we do as men to keep our households together is sacrifice all the shit and dreams that we want and create a dream for the family, which is a dream that we intended by asking our women to marry us. Now, I think there's a difference between negotiating submission and negotiating leadership. Never negotiated leadership with my wife. There's no question there. The only time my wife led me in our whole marriage is when she wanted to have babies. She wanted to have babies. She had to go through all kinds of special treatment. I didn't know shit about it. And I just followed her, and I was like a lapdog because I wanted kids, right? I didn't feel my leadership was in question. I had to shoot needles in her butt. I had to do all kinds of shit, man. She went through a 12-hour surgery, all that stuff. Hey, let me tell you this. This is kind of, my personal thing. I'm in there waiting 12 hours. The doctor comes to the waiting room. He's got blood all over him. I'm saying, what the fuck going on? And then, then he started smiling and said, hey, everything is okay, blah, blah, blah. All this. I said, holy shit. I mean, you could at least change the smock.
Yeah, please. That feeling I'm getting from my wife's birth coming back, I need you to stop about the childbirth.
Yeah, so all I'm just trying to say
is... How else would you know he's working, Mr. Payne, if he don't have the blood on the smock?
That's true. But the 10 years it took for us to have our 2 daughters, I could never, like I said before, I could never repay her. But then, but that was when, I took her. So I understand. A good leader understands when to shut up and move and just let who's doing it do it. And so I didn't feel threatened during that period of time, So I'm gonna go one more thing. Listen, I give my wife the 4 P's. Everybody knows what they are by now, and she gives me everything else I need. Right? She gives me peace in the house. She gives me loyalty. She gives me exclusivity. She knows how to get shit out of me without freaking with my ego. She gives me my space. She does all this shit. You know what? And she's still... I need to tell her to stop doing this shit. Stop bringing me food. That's... stop. So I can go ahead and... I got a gym in the house. So I can work. Stop just bringing me food. I think she just she pulled out my hair, plucked my teeth out, and gave me a whole bunch of food so nobody else would want me. So I don't understand where everybody's going with all these definitions, and I think we make this shit too complicated. Women ain't that, and okay, Mr. Trey, women ain't that much different, and neither are men. Women are more different than men are. I give you that. However, they could still be controlled. If you know how to do it, I don't have any problem with that. I don't know. I think I still have more game now than all these guys are getting laid. I used to have to burn incense and shit to get laid back in the day.
I'd like to test that theory.
Oh,
I'd like to see you go out. I'd like to see you go out in 2023 and go pull a woman.
Oh my God.
Nah, he's Sugar Baby's RS if he goes out.
Anyway,
they're gonna be like, hey,
let me move on. Go ahead. What I'm just trying to say is women like PH Diva who have this. I wanted to ask her with the guy who said all the shit that she wanted to hear. Did he get lucky that night? But anyway, that's another story. But anyhow,
this man was on television with his wife talking to. It was an interview Monique did when she had her nighttime talk show.
I just wanted you to get off mute. That's all. Anyway, anyhow, I like this little go back and forth with you. Anyway, that's it for me. And John the Baptist, and listen, if I overtalked you last time, I'm sorry, man, but we can agree to disagree on some stuff.
John is not he ain't worried about it. He on here regular.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question, Trigger Mike?
Go ahead.
Okay. So about 2 weeks ago, my cousin called me. She's been married for, I think this year will be their 27th anniversary. 27 years. Her father knows his father, but his father wasn't really involved in his life. He was taking care of some other women's children, but he actually quit his job so that he wouldn't have to pay child support and worked under the table. Okay, fast forward. Now he's old and his wife, the lady he was married to and couldn't be faithful to, left him. So now he's living in this old beat up trailer with holes in the floor. And so he called her husband, or all his kids, because he got a bunch of them that he never took care of, and said he needed help. And she said that her husband sent him money, and she said it had to be a grip of money because he wouldn't even tell her over the phone how much he sent him. And he knows he despises his father. Okay, so now as a submissive wife, what should be her response in that type of situation? Should she go home and go ape shit on his ass, or
hell no?
Because she works too. So she works. He works.
No, y'all are like agents
And
of
he giving
chaos
out
with this.
over
Why are you
$1,000
giving
to
me
some man
the?
who never even took care
I
of
mean,
him.
Why are you
did
giving
they
me
miss
the
a
most
mortgage payment?
extreme?
Did they miss a
That's not
mortgage?
extreme.
That is
No,
extreme.
they didn't miss
That
a
sounds
mortgage payment.
extreme.
That's not extreme.
That's
I mean,
not
I have,
okay. It sure as shit don't sound common.
Like,
yeah, I had a coworker who told me her husband, the son in college, and she took something out of her 401k to pay for something in college. Her husband, who isn't the child's father, went and filed taxes without telling her and claimed and put her on the taxes too, so he could get a bigger refund. And she ended up having to pay something. I hear these stories all the time. Like, and I don't know if I'm just somehow cursed that women always want to come tell me their marriage horror stories, which they don't even seem to think are horror stories. They just think these are normal stories.
Hold on. Do you know
but
why
they traumatize me?
Do you know why I don't listen to those stories often? And it's not having to do with men. I don't listen to them coming from men or women, because nobody ever leads with the part where they fucked up. No, ever.
Right.
They never talk about it. That's why this stuff is
That's
so
right,
funny. How it's always so ironic. Like, oh my God, that happened to you. Then one day I realized, like, wait, it is only modern people that act like an effect has no cause. I was raised better than that. Cause and effect. If you understand it,
right.
Well
and
enough.
So what would my cousin have done that made her husband take money and give it to an ancient father without consulting her first?
She didn't tell you what she did. I'm telling you, I don't even know.
What could she have possibly done to make something like that justifiable?
What I'm saying
sounds like you need to ask her.
Exactly.
Yep.
These
sounds like you need to ask her.
Extreme.
I don't need to ask her anything. Okay, no, that's not extreme.
I don't think you want
because you don't honestly care. If you wanted to know, you would go to the source, but you don't want to know the answer.
Right. Most people don't want to know the truth because the truth actually hurts.
Because y'all talk about women being submissive, but then I'm saying, what does this look like in a real world context when you're faced with some type of situation where there may be a difference of opinion or disagreement? Then what's the submissive wife response?
So I give you example.
All right, John the Baptist, go ahead.
I give you an example of what it looks like in a real life situation why I don't negotiate. If somebody breaks into breaks in my house in the middle of the night, I'm not going to negotiate with my wife who's going downstairs to take care of that situation. We can negotiate if you want
to. John the Baptist. That's retarded because if you just want everybody to die, then don't protect the house. You know what I'm saying? We all gonna die then. If it's like that.
Survival of the fittest. We're obviously the fittest in the house. So survival of the fittest, like you gotta make sure we survive.
John said, I want to get shot because I didn't get my dinner cooked last night. Because I ain't going.
But the man going downstairs when he hears something at night, or when y'all both hear something, or when you hear something and we sleep, and it's like, hey, wake up. I heard something. Yeah. That's a form. Okay, first of all, to answer the topic, that is a form of submission. And we're willing to the men commit the ultimate form of submission, which is the fact that we're willing to die to defend you, right? Not only yourself, but yes.
Defending me.
We are. Yeah, we are. First of all, hang on. Hold up. Y'all need to listen and then understand and then respond. Because all this, nah. So let me just explain it. Okay, our presence, just having a man means that there's no other dude trying to run up on you. Means there's nobody trying to steal your purse. Means there's nobody trying to holler at you, get your number. No one's trying to mug you. No one's gonna try and commit any sexual assault. No one's picking you up at the bar. You got like all of these things are just. Go ahead.
That doesn't mean any of that.
No, so this is one of those things that I feel so strongly about. I cannot allow it to happen because men are very weak when we let women disregard what protection actually means. This is what protection means 99.9% of the time. Mm-hmm. Women are so oblivious to the fact that stuff does not happen to you simply because we are there. Okay? Even the kids that get kidnapped, a very few amount of kids get kidnapped from the presence of a parent. But guess who they get kidnapped from? Over 90% of the time. Their mom. That lets you know that the presence of a male is the force multiplier in any situation. If you want, this is why if you look at Middle Eastern cultures, if a woman is going to the grocery store at all, but usually in the evening time, you will always see her man with her. Asians, Middle Eastern people, they do not play around with their own safety. The reason this is such an effective thing to say, those men are not even physically imposing. They're not even physically dominant. But a man knows, let that adrenaline go through his body when you're trying to mess with his woman or his kid, he will tear your face off from the back.
Now let me finish. Now let me finish my statement. Now let me finish. Hold on. Y'all cut me off.
It is an invisible force field goes around your body. We're a man. We're better than that. You don't have to have an invisible force field because ain't nobody gonna try it.
You know what?
No, the reality of the situation is the fact that you said
that's the reality of the situation.
You said that if you have a man, then that means that ain't nobody gonna try to holler at you at the club. Ain't nobody gonna be trying to sexually assault. That's what EBD said.
Why are we going to the club?
Because I like going to the club.
I know y'all cut me off. Right.
You guys are talking about two different situations. His
y'all know y'all cut
scenario
me
is
off,
when
right?
you're there, when your man is with you, and you're saying like because I have a man, like even though he's not with me, these men don't see him. He's saying when he's there with you, he is providing you this protection that you don't even see because you're a woman and you get to have that protection and luxury of not having to worry about other men doing anything because less men talk to you when your man's around than when he is not around. And I know for a fact because men are always talking to me, women are always talking to me, they will always stop me. I get stopped a lot less with my big ex-husband with me. He has that face that don't even think about talking to her and they don't even think about talking to me. It is
okay, that's
what happened with
no, it isn't. Wait. It ain't wait. It's not obvious. It's not obvious to you. It ain't obvious to you. It is not obvious to you.
No, that's obvious common sense shit. Because if somebody is standing right next to you, nobody's going to walk up to you and try to holler at you like that. Nobody's going to try and sit there and sexually assault you or kidnap you or anything like that. That's regular stuff. That's regular. Real life is the fact that you are not around your dude 24/7, 365. So when you are by yourself, this ring that I'm talking about is not an invisible force field that's going to keep any of that shit from happening.
Well, this ain't this. We're not in Middle Earth, okay? So your ring don't mean nothing. This ain't Lord of the Rings. I'm talking about a man. You're talking about a ring. You are not Wonder Woman. You cannot exist in a world by yourself and think that your ring, you and your magic ring, is going to prevent anything. I said a man. I said when you have a man. A man provides.
I do have a man symbolized by this ring. I do have a man.
Okay.
So what are we talking about?
The young woman just got killed in front of her boyfriend by another man who was trying to talk to her. There are too many examples.
I gotta say this, Trey. Everybody, hold on. I gotta say this. Hold on, Trey. With these powers combined, all right, go ahead, Trey. Go ahead. No,
come on, Captain.
Hold on. We cut off John the Baptist. John the Baptist, finish what you were saying. Then we're gonna move to Trey. John the Baptist, go ahead.
Y'all go ahead. I'm in the middle of something right now. Go ahead.
I bet.
So what I was going to say is I spent time as a law enforcement officer, and I'm telling you that even in most cases, even with the presence of a man, these things can still happen. Now, is the volume of it happening higher? No, it's obviously lower when your man is with you. That's obvious. But I have taken plenty of reports for robberies and assaults and carjackings, and the husband was right there. He was there doing the whole entire thing. So while the numbers are lower, yes, you do have a better chance when you are out with your man. It does not absolve you from possible crimes happening to you, because unless your man is packing heat, he's at a disadvantage to two guys running up on you with guns. Sorry, that's just, and I'm telling you, because I've taken hundreds of these reports and the husband was there. Oh, and one last thing, don't go downstairs. It's always this thing about, oh, who gonna go downstairs? Don't go downstairs. You lose your leverage. You stay upstairs. Your leverage is being above them, and they have to come up the stairs, which puts them in a fatal funnel and makes them an easier target. Don't go downstairs. Don't ever go downstairs.
I just don't have guns. I got swords, so I got to go downstairs and slice some people up.
They're in the kill box.
All right, samurai.
That's what we call the kill box. That's why I'm like, oh, please come in my house. Please come in my house. There's a perfect kill box for you downstairs. But he's right. Don't go downstairs. But Trey, I hope nobody was thinking that we say we are an invisible force field all the time. No. The frequency, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, a lot of women negate the fact that there are things that don't happen to you when your man is around naturally. It won't happen to you like that. Somebody said people won't approach you. The weirdest thing ever is that men actually have some kind of weird mutual respect for a man, even when he's with his family. So it's not just malicious things. It's I've noticed certain types of men don't even get approached when they're with their wife. There was something I saw on Instagram once where the dude was literally about to rob somebody and her dude came behind her. And the dude like kind of like, hey, what you doing, dude? And he was like, oh, she with you? No. I was about to rob y'all, but you a black man with his kid. I can't do that to you. I was like,
wow.
Is this real?
I got an example too, Trigger. I got one too.
That was real.
Dang.
We going in and out of the liquor store, or whatever, like that the other day, and dudes held the door open for me and him. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I understand that. That's
yeah. Well, let me finish the topic though, because before we just got all sidetracked. But what I was going to say is, besides going down,
you and PhD did it. You and Cali Bev did it.
No. She wanted to debate and argue and all that and terrorize us. But what I was saying is, but besides going downstairs, like I think because me being in my marriage way back when that was happening, like the ultimate form of submission that I find myself in is submitting to a woman's like femininity, like when she's 100% in her femininity. Like we were married, she was more of a traditional wife. And there were things that just allowed me to always want to do things for her. So when she was pregnant, you get her anything you want. There's just things that you women do that men naturally respond to, that we're willing to submit to in a dedicated relationship, that we're not going to do when we're just friends, that we're not going to do when we're just friends with benefits. So yeah, there's a lot that we're submitting to when we're in a long-term relationship. One of those things being commitment, right? We're not running around chasing any other girls. We're only submitting to you. You're only getting our attention. So you get all of our energy. And I think that's a form of submission as well. So, I mean, every text that you want to send, we reply. Do you want anything to eat before we get home? Things like that. So yeah, we submit. We submit a lot.
So I'm going to go ahead and finish my statement. My submission is not unto the one. My submission is unto God. And I think PhD would kind of touched on it earlier when she said men die daily. And that's the submission, that's just part of that submission. Yes, I deny to my will and I submit to God's will. I never submit laterally to a woman, because if I do that, then I'm not moving by what God wants me to do. I'm moving what a woman wants me to do. So when I submit, I'm submitting to God's teaching, God's authority, God's power, and I'm passing that on down to you. Now, what I've learned over the years is that from talking to panels and talking to people in general, is that I don't care how many times you talk to certain women, to certain individuals, I found out if they won't submit to God, there's no way they'll submit to a man. So therefore, when you see a woman who struggles with submitting to a man, probably might want to check and see if she can submit to God, because if you're submitting to God, he's going to tell you to submit to your husband. And it's not about how much money he makes, but that's how a man submits. He submits to God.
A word indeed.
Straight
Fantasy Island, how you doing this afternoon?
Hey, Trigger Mike. Hey, everybody. I'm doing well.
What do you got on it? How do men submit in relationships and marriages?
So my ex-husband used to submit in many ways. He would make sure that I was taken care of. Like, having a baby is very traumatic. So, more traumatic for some people than others, and some births are more traumatic than others. So I have 2 children. My first one was very traumatic. And he was there the whole time, holding my hand, starving. And he's like, hey, I'm just leave for 5 minutes to go get some food, because we were in there for a long time. And I was like, please just stay with me. I just really need you to stay with me. Please just stay with me. And he didn't leave. He didn't leave to get food, even though I'm sure he was starving. I'm sure he was sick of me holding my hand. I'm sure he was sick of me crying. And I'm sure he was sick of the smells that I wasn't smelling at that time. Like, I'm sure he was sick of everything. But he was there with me. He submitted to me, begging. I was like, please don't leave. Just stay with me. I really need you. I can't do this. I was really scared, but I did that. And I did that because of him. I was able to do it naturally, no drugs, just him. And I think he submitted to me and I submit to him. And we had that baby. That was the most submitting I think either one of us had done in our lives. Outside of that, he made sure that he was protecting us. He's a very scary man. Like, I'm very proud to say he's a very scary man. People don't try him. People don't disrespect him. He has that respect because of the way he carries himself and because of the way that he protects himself and his family. He's going to shoot first, ask questions later. So I like that about him. He's going to protect us. I know I don't have to, whose turn is it? He's going to go. And I think that's what you get when somebody loves you and you have children and you get married and it's all together. I think there's a difference in how men submit to that woman than how they submit to like girlfriends and women they just sleep with on the side. It's a completely different thing.
Nice. Who didn't
I
go?
saw you, Fantasy Island, talking to the incredible Pookie too, by the way.
The dustiest man alive.
Did I miss something? What's the incredible?
She was on another panel with a guy who had 7 kids by 7 different women.
Oh snap! That dude from
yeah.
Damn,
just
Anton was on.
early things too.
Anton was on with him yesterday.
He was on with him today too.
Shit. Yeah, just somebody bring him to the front of the congregation so I can give him a virtual slap.
I'm sorry. What? So this guy, what? He has 7 different kids.
Do you know what though? Let me say this because this needs to be said about that particular dude. The fact, so even what he said, me being a father, right, that takes care of his kids as a married man, I'm upset. But is this dude wrong? Fundamentally, is he wrong?
Yes.
Absolutely not.
Wait.
Yeah.
No. So
I guess you got to fill me in. You have to fill me in. 7 different children by 7 different women, or what?
Well, no. My bad. Let me give you more context. Let me find the video. Y'all go ahead.
I think he did an interview. It got posted today. He did an interview.
Let King Spark up. Y'all.
With Just Pearly Things. He basically has been running around having a whole bunch of unprotected sex with a ton of women. And he makes them either take the morning after pill, Plan B, or have abortions.
Okay.
And Pearl had asked him, so do you just Pearl had asked him, are you going and having unprotected sex with women that you don't really know that well? Have they tried to get child support from you? All of that business. He said he never gives them his real name, so none of them have been able to try and get child support. But he also said none of them required him to wear a condom at any point.
And the ones he said the ones that made him, he wore it, but the ones that didn't, he did not, and most of them did not. And he said today that he was at a 95% rating or something. Like most of the women he had sex with, he didn't have any babies. He only has this 5% over here that slipped through. So really, he's the MVP, and you shouldn't be shaming him about having reckless sex because he's got the answer. He's had plenty of sex and only 7 children. So he's saying, you can't really check me. You can't correct me. And I just feel like I'm not going to correct a man like that. There's nothing I can say to a man like that. So I just wanted to ask him questions.
He's not a man like that. He's a women. The women have to take responsibility for letting a stranger enter their womb.
Well, that's what he said.
Listen, I know a lot of women.
He lied about his name. How if he would have told him his name, he could have even looked him up.
Let me tell you, if a man coming up to you, he says, "My name is T," and then you're gonna let him raw dog you. How is that his fault? Men do what men do.
If he lying about his name, I'm pretty sure he lying about a whole bunch of other stuff.
He's lying about everything. That's the point that I'm trying to make. You act like, he just lied about his name. That's all.
Why would you give a man like that raw dog advantage?
You don't know. He is
but the thing
lying.
is,
because he's a charmer and they're dumb.
Wait. So what this proves is that only a small percentage of men can get away with something like this. Only a small percent, because the vast majority of us guys can never ever get away with what he's got. That's what it sounds like.
What does really prove though?
That's pretty bad, but the thing is, right, I would have to go along with the lines of the bulk of the accountability is on the women, and the reason I say that is because after hearing him speak, this is the kind of guy you've only got to listen to him for 5 minutes to know what he's about. He's
Okay.
very upfront with it.
Okay.
He wasn't
Hey,
somebody
one of
that's
those
out
women are
to
married.
games.
She's married and she's a professional. She's a doctor.
Yeah.
And she's
One
married.
one of his women was married.
Yeah.
So did he talk about all of his women or just some or what?
No,
Like
he
just
talked about the 7 that didn't go.
All the rest of those women. What caliber of women do you think they
one of them
were?
is married,
What do you
still
think
married
they
to
were?
her husband, and he's raising and paying for that kid, oblivious to the fact that his wife got blown up by some dusty ass dude. All right?
It's a lot about her, right? That's one shot. That's one baby mama.
It
And then
shows you
all
the
the other baby
women he's
mamas.
going for. It shows you the kind
caliber
of
woman do you
he's
think they
going
were?
He said he didn't
because
even
the thing
have
is,
to-
he said
Low vibrational woman.
Thank you. The
Fantasy
Dusties down
Island.
there with him, where he was in the dust, where he belonged. He was down there with the Dusties,
Yeah.
and they all got dusty together. Don't try to act like he's a reflection of the majority because he already said he had.
Oh no. Small percentage of the minority. A small percentage.
Are a small percentage of the minority also. These
No,
women,
but the thing is, he
women
But
wanna have
you
babies
can't
as
totally
babies.
bash the women because sometimes you know how we be. We finally maybe somebody's showing us some attention. Wow, he really is genuinely into me, and he over here just charming them
But why would
pants
you?
off, and
But
you
why
give
would
him
you? Okay,
boom.
but hang on. There's a couple things there. He said that the only reason that those kids were born is because those women are the kind that wouldn't have abortion.
Right.
Okay.
And B, even if you're a woman in a weak moment, insecure, a guy says the right thing or whatever, why are you letting him raw dog you?
These are the bottom of the
Because
barrel
it feel
women
good.
that aren't
Let me
going to
tell
have
you.
sex. They're not going to get. So he's an attractive looking man, right? Objectively,
He's okay.
He doesn't look like a troll, right? So
He looks
these
like a
women that
pookie.
he's having these
Well, he ain't
babies with
Shrek
that
like
wouldn't
me,
have
but
been
he
an
ain't that
abortion.
handsome.
These women
You
don't
know.
have options like that. These
Ain't
aren't
that handsome.
prime women that could have any type of baby daddy they want. They think this is the best genetics I'm going to get from my child because of what I look like or how I act or whatever's going on, whatever's wrong with me. This is the best genetics I'm going to get from my child. So I'm going to take
Why are you making this?
And that's
Why are you
why
making
they-
excuses for?
That's why they keep. I'm
Yeah.
not making excuses for them because I can't do that. I'm just trying to explain to you what type of woman I think would have a baby by a Dusty when you
One
know
of them
he's
is a
absolute dust.
doctor.
So this
One
is
of
just
them
an
is a
Yeah.
example. I'm explaining to you one of the
Yeah, but
of
yeah,
Yeah,
hang on.
but
He,
one of
he
them is a
probably
doctor.
said one of
All
those
right,
pigs. Don't
Mr.
pick.
Payne,
He
Mr.
probably
Mr.
said
Mr.
one of those
Payne, Mr.
pigs.
Payne,
They were
professional.
intrigued
No,
Mr.
but
and
hang
they
on a
wanted to
second.
take a
Hang on a
bite.
second. Just
Mr.
because
Mr.
someone's
Payne,
a
professional
doctor,
women can be
being
bottom
weird.
bottom of the
just because
barrel as
someone's a
well.
doctor
I
doesn't
don't know
make
why we think that just
have
because a
a
woman has a
We
job,
here.
means
just
they
because a
just
woman
have
just because a
academic
woman has a job and she
being
has
a
a
doctor
degree
doesn't
doesn't
mean
mean
that
that
you're not
she's
crash
not bottom of the
That's not-
barrel.
Okay,
That's
so
right, Trey.
okay, we got it. We
That's right,
okay,
Trey.
so it doesn't matter what class you are, you can get it too. So
Exactly.
that's what I'm
Yes.
saying. Yeah, and we all seen
Be
Real
that.
Housewives or whatever, and we all know they're doing the pool boy anyway. So I don't know why we're
Thank
tripping.
you.
But from what I see here, from what I'm like hearing back, I mean, first of all, I gotta watch this. What y'all talking about? But second of all, yeah, if this is real, if he's got 7 kids, but you're saying a 95 percentile because of all the women that he ran through, there's only 7 times, and that's how it's mathematically out. That's what the equation is. So he's well, I guess so. What he's saying is okay. So why try and check me because I'm not having 10 kids? I have 7. So
I'm not having hundreds of kids. I only
right. He still has half.
He said, can't nobody hold him accountable.
Yeah.
He said, I am accountable,
Okay.
but I just don't give a fuck.
Yes.
Oh wow. He real with his. He real with his.
Also
I know
said,
women always get triggered with this shit. Listen, he's responsible for the outcome. He's partially responsible for the outcomes.
Right.
But
He is,
a woman is 100% responsible for letting him raw dog her. Women got to take control of their wombs. You can't blame that on the man. You can't blame that on the man.
He
That's what
basically
I'm saying. They're choosing to have this baby by him because they're not gonna get better options. These are not.
No, wait. That's not true. That's not true. They have better options. They choose not to explore them. That's why we got the friend zone. That's why we got the friend zone. That's how we got the friend zone.
Hang on.
That's
That's
the average
That is
women,
not what the
right?
friend zone is.
That's where the better options are. Wait. That's where the better options always are.
I can't hear nobody.
Okay. So if think about it. every single last one of these women that this dude ran through had an option, had a better option than this dude, right? Somewhere in their phone, somewhere in an app, I don't care. They had a better option. They had the good man. They had a man who wouldn't do something like this, they opted for this guy. That's where the accountability comes in.
You don't know that every woman ain't got a whole bunch of options like that.
Get them moist.
Hang on.
One mic. We need to be honest. There's trash in the friend zone too.
No, listen.
I won't go be able to keep together. All right, let me let my brother Logic up.
Some women, regardless of the situation, will not delete their children. So you have to remember that. Even though they'll have a roll in the hay with some trash dude for whatever the reason, once the baby's here, they're like, well, I don't believe in that, so I'm going to go through with it. So it's not necessarily a choice of options for every woman. You've got to remember that.
Oh, here we go.
Hey, Logic.
No, I agree. I agree. But it is what is an option is for her to require her man to wrap it up before he taps it. I mean, that's I don't understand how that wasn't a requirement.
Enter Black
That's what I don't
Some women
I don't
want to
understand
have
I guess you never been to Atlanta then. You never been to Atlanta.
There will not be any Atlanta slander going on.
Hey, I used to live in Atlanta. I used to live in Lawrenceville.
What are you doing? When I pulled the gun out, she asked me, what are you doing? So what do you mean? What do you mean what am I doing?
So Sparkle, what were you talking about? Wait a minute, what were you talking about?
No, but listen, you guys have to remember, these same women didn't even require the dude's real name. Okay,
right.
So if you don't require his true identity, you can't expect her to be the kind of woman that's forthright and thinks, oh, hang on, strap up. This is a trash.
Wait a minute.
Why
would she take his name at his word? Why wouldn't she believe that that's what his name is?
Because
these are the kind of woman. Every woman that has had a one night stand is this woman. Every woman that has had a one night stand has been this woman.
I was saying, I didn't run no background check to make sure that my husband's name was his real name when I started talking to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about? Why would I not take his name for his name?
I did. I ran a background check on every woman I dated.
Let's let Mr. Love speak.
Right. Well, social media is a different thing because you got usernames and not real names, so it could be that too. You know, I mean, a Tinder hookup is a Tinder hookup. Doesn't matter what your name is.
All I needed was a tag number, and I could do the rest from there.
Yeah, add somebody, whatever. What's up, Mr. Logic? What's up, Mr. Logic?
Why y'all acting like ratchet? Y'all surprised that ratchet motherfuckers exist? Come on, man.
Thank you.
I know
well, here's the difference, King. Hey, here's the difference. At least we're man enough to recognize that that's not a majority of women and representative women. But when we hear about this type of dude, women like to think that this is the majority of men, and that ain't it at all.
Yeah.
That's that kaleidoscope kind of thing. I don't understand.
The majority of women do not think the majority of men act like that.
Okay, wait. Let me add some logic to this conversation because it's really kind of goofy, right? Have y'all ever heard the term of mama's baby, papa's maybe?
Yes.
What does that mean?
That means we don't know who's fathering these children until it is tested through their blood. We don't know.
No, okay. It means that he don't know. She can know.
Could.
It means that she got.
Wait. Hold up. Wait, slow down. What year is today? What year we live in? 2023, right? Do we have something called blood tests? You can do swabs, all that, right?
You can't force them.
Nah, Logic. They in the 1800s.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, just hold up. Listen to what I'm saying, right? That's why I asked the young man, out of them 7 kids, how many did you have a DNA test on? The beautiful lady in the corner over there, the island girl, how many did he say he had a DNA test on?
1.
So that means 6 of them. The only proof that we have that them is kids is at the word that of a jump off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And jump off or bust down is a spontaneous chicks, and then obviously we'll have multiple partners, right?
Yes.
Is he claiming these kids?
Yes.
No, listen.
You're not being honest.
Yes, he is. If he claims the kids, they're legally his.
No,
He
no,
said
no,
he's claiming him legally.
no.
He said he is
Yeah.
not legally their father, but he's their father. And I was like,
No. Wait. You see, that's what. Look, that's why y'all got to stop reading the titles of the videos and listen.
I was there on the panel with you. I heard him.
I watched the entire thing.
No, listen. What he said was the women told him that he was the father.
Yeah.
So see, you don't
contest.
You don't got a dick, so you don't understand how this is, right? Because
well, I
you
do. Hold on, Logic. I do. I have a dick. Did he contest?
Listen,
because he said
if a woman told me that this is my child and I didn't think it was my child, I would immediately contest it. Immediately. I wouldn't even waste time.
No, but Trey, here's the thing that you forget, right? They can't do any kind of DNA test or whatever because he won't give them his name.
And he said he didn't even think about what Mr. Logic was giving him the out of, that he doesn't really have 7 kids. You only have kids by the ones that actually have your paternity test.
But he doesn't care either way.
Just realized that's an out for him today.
No, what y'all see, look, like I said, just listen, right? I'm telling you from experience, right? Check this out. I call cap on my mans because the thing is that I don't give a fuck how incognito he think he is.
Oh, he's not incognito.
You're not incognito from goddamn the Department of Children's Services.
Yep.
You ain't nobody incognito from them. So this is damn, I'm gonna break it down for y'all, right? He was fucking bust downs. As a bust down is, you don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Skeeting in them. And skeeting in them. All of them.
Like this. If she let him skeet in them, and a lot of times he said he bust him down on the first night, right? You think that's the only time she let niggas bust down and skeet on the first night?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Right.
So now she's just like y'all call him a bust down dude that don't care, that's spreading his seed everywhere. The chicks are also bust down chicks that receiving nigga seeds everywhere.
Thank you.
So that's why you cannot pin until, look, I hate when we do this. Until that man get a DNA test, that is mama babies, papa maybe.
So why is he doing a world tour then?
Exactly. So he gets caught. You know those serial killers.
Because if these aren't his kids, he is certainly using them to get clout.
That's what he's doing.
Trey,
it's not
point is he couldn't do it if they wouldn't let him.
Right.
Open her legs in order for a guy to pass out in the first.
If you're asking why is he doing a world tour?
I'm not arguing the complicit of the women. We know that the women have made poor choices. That's obvious. Right. No. We also know that he's made poor choices as well. We don't need to beat that horse. My question is why is he using this situation to gain clout? If Logic's argument is they may not be his kids, then why is he using it?
He's making money.
I'm gonna tell you why. That's his question. I'm gonna tell you why.
He made an internet famous. That's why.
No. It's not about. Look, watch this. He's doing it because of guess what? All you niggas been talking about him for the last week.
Thank you, internet famous.
Internet famous. Wait, and watch this. This is the thing that this is new social media journalism, right? Because if a real journalist would accept this story, what the first thing they'll do?
Well, hang on.
They're going to start.
No.
That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense, Logic. Why would a man who's intentionally trying to hide his identity come onto a platform where his identity would be exposed? That doesn't make any sense.
Trey, a man
because you're not listening.
Isn't going to get himself in these positions.
No, y'all not listening. If a real journalist was to pull up this story, they would first check out the validity of the story, right?
Yeah.
Hey, to be honest with you, this nigga might not have no kids. You don't know. Have anybody ever checked out this story to be true?
Hang on. So Logic, are you seeing this the same way like that ratchet woman with the McDonald's? Like it could be a fake video.
I'm saying.
Is that what you're saying?
If look,
creating fake outrage, he's creating chaos. You think this man is lying and claiming that he's had these 7 children.
He could be.
Not claiming them. You think he's
Okay. So then something's wrong with all of us. But yes, he could be absolutely lying. It could be made up. It could be deep fake. Who cares?
Fine. You think he's making all of this up? So now he gets his
15 minutes
bad press, his 15 minutes of fame, and people look at him as like women don't want to sleep with him. They won't take him seriously. They don't want to be his wife because he's dust and he's embarrassing to himself, his family, and anyone that gets involved with him.
He doesn't look at it that way. He doesn't look at it that way.
He's chosen that for his 15 minutes and nothing else. There's nothing
else.
It's
just people who've done worse. He said he had a DNS with the doctor. He said him and the doctor had a DNA test. The reason why she didn't get A was because her husband would know that, because her husband thinks the kid was his.
Yeah.
And if she would have got an A, he would have been A in his kid. Because he doesn't know she was out there busting down some dusty. Now, that could be a lie, too. Everybody could be lying. I mean, even if he is lying, one thing, Logic, even if he is lying, there's a perception that 20% of the black men out there are impregnating all these women. And we got all kinds of examples of a guy with 38 kids, 15 kids, 17 kids. So it's not far-fetched for this asshole to have 7 kids.
Right.
It's not like we're stretching logic. There's so many guys out there with all these fatherless babies. You know,
so that adds validity. Look, when we know the world to exist, it adds validity to the story.
Right.
So now nobody would sit there and say, is he telling the truth? Is he not? Because let's be honest with you. Niggas get on the internet, they can say whatever they want to. And then guess what you have to do? Because there's no true journalism, you got to take their word.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, and then now we know this exists in our world today, especially in the black community. So nobody's going to bat an eye when this dude say he got 7 kids by 6 different women. But I'm going to tell you this. All you women on this panel, I guarantee you got, and a majority of black women got one thing in common. They follow Shade Room. So now this dude is on there, on Shade Room, saying that, hey, I got 7 baby mamas, 6 baby mamas, 7 kids, and they can't find me. But guess what? No, they can find you.
Of course they can.
But the thing, that's why you got to see it. And look, I guarantee you, 3 months to go by, they still ain't gonna find them, because guess what? They might not exist, because now everybody gonna follow his page. Shit, I'm a victim. He told me to follow his Instagram page. I follow him. He gonna get his followers up. He gonna start a YouTube channel. He gonna do all this on the back of niggas not doing true journalism. Nobody's asking for the validity of the story.
Damn, I gotta make some shit up, man.
That logic doesn't make any sense.
He does have
for a man who is clearly trying to hide, and he's not trying to tell people who he is. Why would you come onto a platform where, your followers are going to go up, you're going to make money, sure, but then if he starts to make money and he gains popularity, wouldn't all of the women want to take him for child support then? The logic doesn't make sense to me.
That's why
for him to do it.
Well,
maybe he doesn't have to. Maybe he doesn't have to.
Either he's lying or he has no forward thinking. It's not one of the two.
Or
I don't know which one's worse.
That online artificial intelligence. How do I get some notoriety real quick? Okay, let me tell
that AI thing, that G whatever it is, that type of thing.
That dude didn't sound logical, man. I don't know if you heard him speak.
Yeah, he did sound pretty.
That shit didn't sound logical.
Where do you think where's he from? Where's this guy from?
I completely agree. He's not rap too tight. He's not rap too tight upstairs. But I'm just saying, for a person who doesn't want to be, who's out here doing these things, it seems to me like making money would be the opposite of what you want to do, because most women are gonna say, "Oh, you got money now? Oh, I'm taking
right."
Yes.
Well, get more women.
Though he sounds like an amalgamation of all the talking points that we hear in these spaces. Let's just keep it real.
I think that's why either. I mean, I'm hoping his story is authentic. I wouldn't want to believe a lie, but he's a complete representation of how so many women choose the same guy over and over again, and it's another representation of you having options, you've exercised those options, and this is the outcome simply because of the choices that this guy chose to make. This obviously wasn't the top, level, top shelf kind of guy that all these women could have gotten with. But they had a choice between some nice guy or some simp or whoever we want to call that's in the friend zone. They could have gotten with him, could have had a real relationship with him, could have never met this guy over here. He would have moved on, or could have got denied, and had to try something different. But it all turned out because these women made these choices with this one type of guy.
Check this out, though. Check this out.
Trigger Mike wants to read the super chat.
No.
You guys, we're reading the super chats now.
Gotta quit simping. How do you know what choices that? How do you know what choices the women have?
Logic, we're reading super chats.
Go ahead.
Logic, we're reading the super chats right now, love.
Go ahead.
I'm the person that Trigger Mike told to read the super chats.
Girl, but you better watch your mouth.
Oh, Basua. Oh, I would love to. However, today is an office day.
Benayu.
Yeah.
$5. I would love to. However, today is an office day. I can't freely hear #@theplantation.
Oh,
girl, I feel you.
Wow.
King Spark 5799 $20. I don't know what that is. Advanced Perception $5. The stigma around submission is that women think if they submit, they're gonna end up like Miss Seeley from Color Purple. Mr. Ain't gonna get me. That's funny. Marriage, Politics, and Sports $5 for the love of the game. Bashua Ishet Benayu $5. Conditional submission? Absolutely not. Conditional submission is not full submission. Bashua again for $20. There's nothing wrong with a man compromising in terms of getting his wife's input on his final decisions. With that, it's a woman to respect her husband's final decisions, whether he goes with her idea or not. Fantasy Island Girl became a member. Mel Duke became a member. Damn for $5. If the man is not there, he will at least tell you to not dress a certain way to attract that kind of attention. That is protection too. Advanced Perception $2. Submission debate ends when the apocalypse happens. Mel Duke for $2. No, fundamentally, morally broken. Yes. Don X $10. Being dead broke is the root of all evil. Rick Ross.
There they go, them rappers.
Bob 23456. Bob $2. Lawrenceville ain't Atlanta.
Oh my God.
No, it isn't.
Cyan 1 $2. Is his real name on the certificate? No equals not his.
Facts.
Cyan 1 $2. Not a perception. They had the stat on CNN. 20%.
No.
You guys keep going out here making babies and thinking because your name isn't on the birth certificate that the courts won't hold you accountable. You keep making that mistake if you want to.
They'll make up a name if they have to. They'll just make up a name.
They will legally default
your name is
on that
Pookie and you owe. Yeah. I mean,
you know, don't you think that's tragic?
I think these come to the point of niggas hate on niggas that get pussy because they don't. Because they got you when you start making up all these talking point scenarios like, oh, I guarantee you the other woman had somebody in the friend zone. Oh, what? You niggas sound weak as fuck. You gotta say that shit. You know
why is that weak?
And yeah, I'm talking to you, Enter the Dragon.
I see. I know you are. Why is that weak?
No, and I'm looking out for you, right? You're a grown man. You're assuming on another nigga dick and it's pussy. And it makes men look bad. Like you're assuming, get out of that whole pussy and get off of that nigga dick. Cause that don't make no sense. You don't know what choices that man had, that woman had. She might have had all bum ass niggas. We don't know. So when you get in here,
So he's the best bum? He's the best bum?
He probably was.
I doubt it. Women have more. Hang on. When have you know? Wait. What, Mr. Logic? What woman do you know has just one option? For a man. What woman do you know out of all the women he ran through has one option of a man? One.
Well, look,
of course, all the women had other options on their phone. Of course, they got men in the friend zone. That's all they talk about.
Check this out, though. EB, check this out, though. You ain't think about this, EB.
Go ahead.
Some of these dudes that got these kids and be nothing these girls, right?
Right.
Some of these dudes drive Benzes. They rent motherfucking they rent Rolls Royces, they rent Bentleys.
Flashy,
They motherfucking got slabs with no seats in them, with no guts in them, with no so they be tricking these hoes into that.
They got game.
You know what I'm saying?
They got game. They obviously got game.
Sometimes it's game and a nigga look nasty too. But that's basically what a nigga do. They be tricking it. So
I'm not hating on his game.
I'm not hating on context. I'm giving some context as to what the women see.
Right.
When they let this nigga hit. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Guys,
go ahead, Sparkle.
Mike posted a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll read it. In modern day society, is sexual submission being disguised as feminine dominance? Why or why not? That is an interesting question.
It's an interesting question.
All right. Well, we'll just start around the. We'll start around the panel. Just keep it organized. It's Mr. Logic first.
Nah, nigga, I'm still mad at you for sending, nigga.
Sparkle.
Let me just read it. In modern society, is sexual submission being disguised as female dominance? It's not disguised as female dominance. Look how many simps there is out there.
Okay.
I mean, and they're using, let's be real, a lot of them, what's the stat? It says something like 30% of men 30 and under are virginal or non-sexual, right?
Right.
So obviously there's a lot of women who are utilizing their sex to get what they want from those men. So that's an easy yes for me.
Mr. Richard's next. Mr. Richard's next.
Okay, so let's go around the horn. First of all, it's a mixed bag. Let me tell you, because 20% of the men at the top of the food chain, if you have a bell curve, are busting out all the women, and then 10 or 20% of the men at the bottom, who are the Pookies and Ray Rays, who look handsome and have all these physical attributes, are busting down the women too. The only guys who are in trouble is that 30% who are just average dudes, because most women are they're giving sex away. I'm gonna put out a video soon where a woman says that, you know what? I don't give a shit about what you men want. The only thing you're good for is for me to give you some box. And if she thinks that she's saying something, all right? I mean, that's like a musical bullhorn to a man. That I don't give a shit what else you want. You're not worthy of anything else from me but box, right? So I know Trey says I'm an old, dragon and shit. But if a woman told me that, I'd celebrate for 40 fucking years. I mean, come on, how much? I mean, that's better than Pornhub. So I got a nice thumbnail too, so I'm gonna throw that shit out there. But the point I'm just trying to say is women are so sexually promiscuous. The problem is, the modern woman, is that they don't understand that the advantages to men. We ain't complaining about getting laid. You guys are wasting your womb and all of your purity on passing yourselves around thinking it's female empowerment. It's horseshit. And every man knows it.
That's why
when it's time for y'all guys to settle down at 30 and 31, we're looking at you, and the only thing we could ask is how many guys were shooting up the club. I mean, I don't understand why black women let white feminists put a battery in your back, and now you guys are doing all kinds of shit to destroy the black community with giving away your virtue to just assholes. And then you want a clean fucking guy to come clean up your mess, and you got all these simps out there like Mr. Let Go and all these I like Mr. Let Go, but he's talking about we got to come back and clean up.
Don't talk about Mr. Let Go.
I like Mr. Let Go too, but I like a lot of his stuff. But he's one of the cleaning up the women's shit.
Trey,
you name drop Let Go like that.
Listen to the guy. That's why I can drop his down. Listen to him all the time. I say, come on, Mr. Let Go. Watching a nice, clean cut, single man with no kids clean up the mess of a woman with 16, 17 baby mamas, baby daddies from all these other kind of guys. Why?
Right.
Why should he do that?
Yeah.
Because you can't find one that's bullcrap. Anyway, so that's my rant.
Hold on, man. Hey, Trigger Mike. Eric trying to come up. If you
I can speak real quick and then go.
Go ahead.
So I like looking at. Stay up here. I don't want to look at these.
Yeah, if she want to drop off, then somebody need to drop off to let them in the back.
If she going, I'm going. Because I want to look at the ladies. These niggas up there ashy as hell. Talk about friend zones.
Women do think their sexuality is their form of dominance because in that time the man is in his weakness and he's like feeling it and it's like powering her like, yes, I'm putting my mark on him, I can control, you know what I'm saying? And when I was talking to my cousin, I was like, yeah, you should learn how to, well, she was telling me that she doesn't like get down with submission, but she was like, I'll submit in the bedroom. So I was like, what? So it's like, girl, like, stop leading with sex. And then maybe you can find a decent dude. Like Mr. Rich said, you keep leading with sex. You keep getting into these meaningless relationships, expecting for a nice guy to come and save you. But you have so many bodies, it just shows on you. Shows.
The nice guy's waiting for 90 days, by the way.
Right. Or longer.
The nice guy's waiting for 90 days.
Or longer. That's right.
Fantasy boy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go, my loves. I love you guys. Love you.
All right.
Bye. See you soon.
I got a wait before you leave. Look, if don't lead. Watch this. If women don't lead with the possibility of pussy, what else do they lead with?
Oh gosh.
Come on, answer the question. It's an excellent question. Answer the question, ladies.
No, he was talking to.
He's talking to PhD.
I'm saying if y'all women, y'all didn't say that, so I'm assuming y'all agree. If y'all don't lead with the possibility of pussy, what else do y'all lead with?
The possibility of being in a relationship together. So when they take you on your date and they ask you where do you see yourself, or what do you want, what are you looking for, why are you still single, all this other stuff that comes out immediately. Well, I've been looking for the right man and blah blah blah. I haven't found him yet, and whatever. Or she's like, look, it is what it is. I'm here for what you here for.
No, but do you
one or the other? And most of us aren't saying, hey, it's just whatever. We are saying, I want to get in a relationship. I'm looking for something real. I'm looking for love. I want to get married.
Okay, but listen to what I'm saying. Like you just said, you sound like Charlie Brown school teacher. Want. You didn't ask my question. I'm literally asking you, right? If you don't pull the lead with the possibility of pussy, what else do you have to offer that a man won't? Because I'm like this. Look, because y'all and you said the basis of relationship. Let's keep it funky. The basis of relationships is dick and pussy. Because let me take that pussy away from you and watch what happens. Hey, look, let me. So
either you want to be in a relationship
let me close up your pussy and render that bitch ineffective, right? I promise you won't have no niggas. So that's the only reason a nigga look. Y'all can say what y'all want to say, but yeah, he like me, I'm smart or whatever. No, he cares about you and you only because of that pussy.
So what? There's nothing gonna happen to my vagina. So what? And men that are heterosexual, they're going to want sex from you if they want sex. So what? Him wanting that has nothing to do with when we go on our date. What we're leading with isn't sex, because we know everyone wants sex eventually. You don't have to deal with that. You don't have to talk about that. We know most people aren't asexual. They want to have sex. So there's no leading with, there's no talking. We know that's where they're trying to get to.
Yes.
What we're trying to do is figure out, okay, this is all you want from me is the sex part. Okay, cool.
No.
You is
listen. And if I was offensive to you, I apologize. I know
I'm just trying to get you to understand.
What I'm trying to say to you, right, is that different, right? You got Mr. A Logic, right? Hey, I want to fuck. You got Mr. B Logic, right? Hey, I'm gonna take you to Ruth Chris. Do you know both of the Mr. Logics want the same thing?
Wants to fuck, yeah. But one of them is offering me only sex. The other one is offering me sex and. So I'm going to go with the sex and
both of them,
over
both
the
of them.
only sex every time because it's logical, right?
Well,
No,
no,
this is what I'm saying. Both of them has the same agenda.
One of them's just more direct about it.
Yes,
Right,
one of
right,
them
right.
have the same
Obviously, we
agenda.
know.
Okay, and so
Obviously,
this,
we know.
Fantasy Island, you would be a Fantasy Island, you would be a bad businesswoman because you're getting the same thing from both of them. You're getting exactly the same thing from both of them. No, possibilities don't matter.
Let me close this point.
Possibilities don't matter.
Hang on. Mr. Logic, what was your? Go ahead and close the point real quick because she's got to answer the topic. Go ahead.
I'll close the point out, right? So look, I'm saying to you, ma'am, women say they want the truth, right?
Yeah.
But I just said both niggas want the pussy. One nigga just offer you some food and flowers, right? Other niggas just say, hey, look, I want this pussy, baby.
Yeah.
But you would go and get, and this is how y'all say, oh, he led me on. Because look, that's
everyone wants sex. You're not.
Wait. Let me finish. Because that's why we have this so-called thing called the romantic stage. And then when the romantic stage is, when he constantly get that pussy, right? And then you gonna get the, listen to what I'm saying. It's the same thing. The problem is that you just admitted it right now. You don't respect the truth from men. Not even you. Women don't.
But that's not what I'm saying. I feel like you're missing the point. All men want sex. You don't have to tell me you want sex. So you don't have to come up to me. If you're coming up to me, you're approaching me, and you're trying to ask me on a date, I'm sure you're not trying to date me to be my friend for the rest of my life. I'm positive of that. So no man has to come up to me and convince me that their sex isn't one of the things they want on their mind, because I already know that. Everyone knows that if a man is coming up to you trying to date you, he obviously wants to have sex with you also. So cool.
Is that your screening process?
But the question is,
she's right. Every single woman,
every single man.
Okay.
Every single man that comes up to me.
I meant, is this your screening process? Like, you know what we want when we approach, right? But do you have a screening process as to vetting one that may be interested in the long-term thing versus one that's just a more let's smash thing?
Yes.
So okay, that's I think, Mr. Logic, is that where you were trying to get to with your point? Is what I'm trying to.
I don't know. She made me lose what her point was.
It's okay, but I understood where you were. I understood where you were coming from. I understood where you were coming from, at least with it. So what was your? So how was your? Going back to the actual topic, fantasy island girl. Go ahead with your point, because we kind of got off track.
Okay,
but
really quickly. The point is, all men want sex. You don't have to tell me. I already know you do when you come up to me and try to ask me on a date. So when you ask me on a date, if you're offering me nothing but sex, I'm going to say no to you because I have a man over here offering me sex and fill in the blank, whatever else I want. He's offering me that, and I'm going to take that. And once he gets to the part where he's offering me marriage, I'm going to be his wife, and you're going to be having sex with some random girl that just wants sex and nothing else. See the difference?
Right.
That's all I'm saying. Like, all men want sex. It's not a question. If you're coming up to me, you're trying to date me. It's not because you want to be my friend. You want to have sex with me. What else?
So if a man wants to date Fantasy Island, just offer sex and the possibility of a relationship, and he in there.
She's right.
I mean, wait a minute. Don't go off.
Let her answer. Let her answer.
You guys aren't listening to her.
No, wait. Go ahead and answer.
I am being as clear as I can possibly be, and I
feel
like you guys
you are.
You can possibly be on purpose. I feel like it's intentionally being obtuse, so you cannot understand me. Not understand what I'm saying.
As a base answer, Trey, to answer your question.
No, I don't need you to answer the question. I'm talking to her. It's not clear because it's clear as mud, and that's the issue.
It's clear as mud.
It's not. Hang on, because on both ends, and logic. This is an excellent question because on both ends, both people offered you the same thing at the baseline. Baseline, yes, they did.
No, they didn't.
Thank you. That's why.
Hang on. Possibilities are not real.
No, Trey.
No,
So both men offered you.
possibility.
No, Trey,
He
listen,
offered me
listen.
real
You said
See, this is what I'm saying. We get lost. We get lost. We get lost.
Guys, listen.
I understand what Fantasy Girl's saying. I understand what Sparkle's saying, and I understand Trey. But I know there's miscommunication though.
She can speak for herself.
It's okay.
Listen. Here's why. Here's why. Hang on, Logic.
I'm asking Fantasy Island a question. I keep interrupting her.
Here's
Let her
why
answer.
it's here, right? Because obviously what Logic is talking about is both men have the same intention, right? They both want sex as the intention, right? But what Fantasy Island girl is saying is that the intention has two possible different outcomes, right? So if one guy's outright telling you, let's go smash, right? If she goes back and says, yeah, let's do it, okay, that's one girl who's going to do it. That's probably your bust down, your 304, whatever. Whereas if you're another guy who says, I want to take you out, right? He's going to take you out with the intention. A, that doesn't mean he's going to get any. And B, it shows us, okay, perhaps
it doesn't mean that the other guy who's saying that he wanted.
Hang on, let her finish. Let her finish.
No,
let her finish.
First of all, no.
Why don't you let people finish, Trey? Why don't you let people? Hang on, let her finish. Hang on, just let Sparkle finish. Let her finish. She answered your question. You didn't like the answer.
I'm asking
you didn't like
the question. You guys keep cutting her off. Stop cutting her off.
Trey,
I'm asking Fantasy Island.
Yeah,
why won't you let her answer it?
Because you didn't
let her answer it.
Saying. And I'm a woman. I totally
she did answer your question. You didn't like the answer.
You didn't get it, so I'm going to give it to you in a slightly different perspective.
One man versus like 4 people.
Right? I understand what she's saying. I'm a woman. I totally get where she's coming from with this. So yeah, both men want sex. They both have the same want. But if the guy's coming and telling us, I want to take you here, I want to take you there. Yeah, he wants sex. However, he obviously is also interested in our company. Therefore, there could be something more there. Doesn't mean he's going to get sex, but we at least see that as a better prospect than just the Tyrone that wants to just bust down. If you're a 304 and you're just open to that, cool. But if you're a woman that has a bit more about you, you're more likely to go with the guy that's asking you out for dinner. That's the difference.
I see a lot of women.
Do you know that by experience, Sparkle?
I see
hey,
why a lot of y'all get played. I see it makes perfect sense.
No,
why a lot of y'all get played now.
And this
wait,
man
Eric, before you go, wait, ma'am. Y'all see, wait, women. Y'all, wait, women. Listen. Y'all gotta listen. And I can tell y'all don't do that good. I said one man told you that he was in this for the possibility of sex. Right? Yeah. The other man gave you Ruth Chris. So he probably won't tell you until like 2 weeks later that, hey, look, I'm in this for sex, right?
Yeah.
Both men probably give you Ruth Chris. But one man just
what
was
the hell? No.
Wait, listen. Ma'am, what's wrong with you? Wait, ma'am.
You're moving the goalpost.
You're moving the goalposts.
Logic. They heard what they wanted to hear. They heard what they wanted to hear. I heard you.
What is wrong with you? What's wrong with you? You like to cut niggas out. Hold up, listen. Just hold up, wait, listen. Just because you'll get it, that's your problem. You quick to say something that you don't even get the point I made or the question I made. So just stop. Wait, ma'am, please. I know y'all like.
You can please all you want, but you are being disingenuous and you're changing.
No, I'm not. What I'm saying, look,
same
ma'am.
thing you were on that panel this morning. The same way you were on that panel this morning.
Wait, ma'am.
Move the goalpost.
Ma'am, listen,
ma'am. You were on top of the goalpost this morning on Anton's panel.
Wait, listen.
I have made on top of the goalpost.
Wait, hold up.
Okay. Mr. Logic, you were going to finish your point. You were going to finish your point, Mr. Logic. Go ahead.
Because I done made this point 1,000,000 times on this very network.
Okay. So they're both offering Ruth Chris.
It's not being disingenuous. I'm saying about the truth. If somebody tell you up front what they want, that was the comparison.
No, it wasn't. That wasn't the comparison, and that's the point that I'm trying to make.
Do you have sickle cell or something? Would you fucking wait? What's wrong with you?
Look at her ponytail. It's obvious.
That
see the burn marks on her head, of course.
That was the beginning of the statement. It was
look at that ponytail.
only offering sex. You're telling me, look at that ponytail. What are you talking about? I'm an attractive woman. I'm very beautiful. I'm naturally beautiful.
According to who?
What are you talking about?
That's a nice shine dress that you have on.
Focus on to me being attractive, which I already know that I am.
No, I'm just saying it's obvious you had a crush on the guy on Anton's show. You had a crush on that guy this morning. You and B. Taylor were wetting your panties this morning over that guy. You wanted to be his nice baby mom this morning, and that's obvious.
Attention for what?
No, that's obvious. You came on that panel. You and her, you were creaming in your panties over that man.
It's not the personal attack.
You could see the wetness.
Yeah, let's not get. Why are we getting personal?
Your Alibaba dress was getting wet over that man.
Fantasy girls, Fantasy Island. Can I sum up?
You wanted that man this morning.
Hang on.
Oh, Eric,
if that man offered you and her a threesome, you would have taken it.
Hold up.
You had a crush on him.
We can't be going back and forth like that. Man.
It's the truth. She had a crush on him. Both of y'all had a crush on him this morning.
You're saying more about yourself than you are about me.
Y'all had a crush on that man.
I only asked questions. So you're trying to.
Why did you ask the questions?
Over there.
Why did you ask questions?
Onto me.
Why did you have questions for the man this morning? Because you had a crush on him. You had a crush on that man.
For me to be able to ask
a unique opportunity. That's how you viewed him. He was a unique opportunity for you.
This man on.
Did you want to save him?
People have been trying to speak.
Y'all was the biggest groupies on that panel this morning.
To ask questions and
you were the biggest groupies on the panel.
You're pathetic.
Who are you, Gail King? Are you Gail King? Are you
related
related
to
to Oprah? Are you conducting interviews now?
Eric.
Y'all,
am I wrong, or were they not creaming in their panties this morning? They were creaming in their panties this morning over him.
Hey,
your new name is Cream Weed.
Bitch.
See, you know what?
Sign language.
Hey, man,
I'm sign language like a bitch. Where are your edges, ma'am? Where are the edges?
Hang on.
Why? Where are your edges?
Hang on. Kill it.
Where are your edges?
Mics are muted.
My edges are right here. You can clearly see them. They're out naturally.
They're pretty far back. They're pretty far back.
I have a natural head. What is wrong with you?
It's natural, all right.
I'm a beautiful woman.
Eric, goddamn it.
Look at your sign language that you're using. It's clear
sign language.
Clear woman.
No, you liked the man this morning. You found him to be attractive. You liked him. Listen, there's nothing wrong with it.
What are we doing?
You like that man.
For you to come out,
there's nothing wrong admitting that you like him.
Eric, chill out, bro. Just chill out for a minute, ma'am. Stop. Hey, ma'am, stop talking right quick. Eric, chill out. Look.
So we're gonna get final thoughts on what was the topic again?
Man, which one?
All right, listen.
How they found that man attractive this morning?
No,
Eric, goddamn it.
The point. I'm sure
they loved him. You was
God, Almighty, can we cut it out? Can we cut it out?
I know women who like men act like.
You might as well.
You liked that man. You liked that man. If that man would have stayed on stream, you would have been hitting your knees. You would have been hitting your knees over that man.
You made the joke, bro. You made the joke a million times. It was fun.
Yeah,
it was funny.
The joke is diabetes for you, sir.
All right.
You a little too big to be on this panel.
That's all you did was blow this panel up with your insult, your shame, your guilt.
And what did you do? You went on there trying to, I'm going to hold this man accountable.
I had conversations.
You went on there, I'm going to hold this man accountable. You were a fan. You were into this man. Let's be real.
Insult me. What are you talking about?
You were into him. It's not an insult. It's the truth.
So don't try to.
It's not an insult. It's the truth. You were into that man.
No, I wasn't. So next.
Yes, you were.
Next.
Why were you asking him those questions?
Questions just like the men were asking him questions.
Why?
Were they into that man?
Why? Those men aren't attracted to other men. You were into him.
Answer
what was your purpose of going on there this morning?
Somebody called Wesley Snipes. They hijacked the show.
I wanted to ask
what was the
Paul Wesley sniped it, hijacked the show.
Can you turn to the side for me so I can see that ponytail? I saw that ponytail. You turned to the side. We know why you didn't want to turn to the side.
My ponytail that's in
We
my
didn't
hair.
know that. We know.
It doesn't matter. This is
I
my
gotta
hair.
mute Eric.
It's my
All right.
You wanted to grab that little
I gotta
ponytail.
mute Eric on the ponytail. I gotta mute you on the ponytail. All right. So we're gonna go around. The question is, Sparkle, you there?
Small ponytails matter.
Damn it.
You know what?
Yeah.
Matter
My man gonna sit in the
All
back and chill for a
personalities
second.
matter.
Hold on. Y'all gonna sit in the back and chill for a second so we can get control back of this.
Thank
bill,
you.
All right. The mudslinging gotta stop. All right. So final thoughts with the last question. I'm gonna bring y'all back up. Just hold on. God damn, what was the topic again?
It was a question. It was a question on does women's femininity being used as
Sparkle.
Yeah, submission.
Is submission a bad thing?
Is
final
submission a bad
thoughts.
thing? No. Submission's a beautiful thing. However, my personal stance is that, again, you guys know I'm a Christian, so I can submit to a man who submits to God, which is the position I'm in, thankfully. I couldn't submit to a man just because he's a man and just because he owns a certain amount of money, because as has been established in this conversation and others, certain people have to have a certain level of class and standards about them in order to garner such response from me, anyway.
What does God say about gluttony?
God, I don't know you. I haven't said anything about
my man Patriarch gotta sit in the back.
Man.
My man Patriarch, you gotta sit in the back, bro. You gotta sit in the back. Let my panelists get their stuff off. Mr. Rich.
Yeah, listen, submission is a natural thing on both sides. I think we're making too much of it. If two people are committed and they go through the vetting process and agree to be together, all the rest of that shit should fall in place. I think people are just, we're getting caught up on buzzwords, and maybe it's because I'm back from the dinosaur age, like Trey said. But the truth of the matter is that there's no magic in this shit. You find a wife, you find a woman you want to vet as a man. You go through the places, you court her, and if she answers the right questions, you have to take a chance because nothing's 100%. And yes, 5 years from now, she might do a Tia Mowry on you and shit like that. But you can't have a scarcity mindset, right? If you have a lot of assets that you want to protect, you tell her she got to sign a prenup so you could get that shit out of the way. But submission is an easy thing. And every time I hear a married couple tell me how hard marriage is, I fucking cringe because this shit's not hard. If you make a decision, you don't have to keep making that decision. You go through paces, you go through it together. It's not always peachy keen. Happiness is not in the vows. It's commitment and obligation. And once you have children, everything else to me is like an excuse, unless there's extreme shit going on. So, and that's how I look at it. Everybody else has their own kind of thing, but that's what got me through it, and I'm still going through it. And my kids are grown now, and and my wife still wants to hold my hand. So hey, what can I say? That's it.
Bet. EBD, is submission a bad thing?
Absolutely not. Like I'm gonna agree a lot with what Mr. Rich said. Submission is only a word that has meaning only in the context of a conversation. When you're in a real relationship, submission actually looks a lot like loving someone, whether it be your wife and your children. I mean, thinking about, we want to compare masculinity, but I think there's submission in masculinity as well. Who are we doing and working so hard for, if not a woman or a family? So, that's how I see it. Women will naturally submit to men, maybe not every man, but certainly the right man. So, when it happens, you're not thinking about it. You're not worried about it. You're just trying to keep your relationship as healthy as possible. And I think submission is kind of how we get there. We forget that when you're in a relationship, it's about a us thing and not about a me thing. So it's not as complex as we make it out to be in 2023. We're just probably putting too much thought into it nowadays.
Okay. King Spark.
It is a man who asks a woman for her hand in marriage. Therefore, the man must have a plan, and the woman must be willing and trusting to submit to this man's plan. And that's period. That's all that it is. We going back and forth about whether who's under who and who will make a decision. Just a little example to clear this up from earlier. In my household, whether y'all want to talk about dictators that have advisors or negotiations, they're all some type of damn negotiation to begin with, okay? But the point is the leader will assess every mind that's in the building. A leader's gonna say, even if I'm coaching a football team or if I'm in a boardroom, before I get to make a decision, I'm going to say, does anybody have anything of value to say? And I'm going to listen here and I'm going to listen there. And y'all want pizza every Friday? No, but I heard you and you have pizza one time next month, goddammit. But the last word shall be mine. And that's it.
I bet. This nigga said pizza once a month. Of all the analogies you can use, you having pizza once a month. All right, bet. Trey.
Yeah. So here in the 21st century, in 2023, submission costs money. And unfortunately, in this day and age in 2023, if your paper ain't right, your status ain't right, your clout ain't right, nothing's right about you, you cannot expect to get submission from modern day women. You can forget about it, throw it out the window. It ain't happening. Now, if you can manage to get your money right, your clout right, your status right, I think you will find that submission typically comes like power windows and power locks on a brand new car. It comes standard. You don't even have to worry about it. She's never going to go against you. You don't have to worry about it. She's going to be lock and step with your program because you have already shown and proven your ability to lead through your success. But unfortunately for a lot of guys, and I say this all the time, if you're between the ages of 18 and 45 and you make less than $100,000 a year, you need to get your passport and go somewhere else because you are probably not going to get the submission that you want from an American woman. And this is not a color thing. This is a national thing, nationality thing. American women just are not going to go for it because take my daughter's mom, for instance. When I was a police officer, we both made the same amount of money. She looking at me, I'm looking at her. She going, well, I make the same amount of money you do. And there were some years she made more than me because she worked more than me. You think submission is gonna come easy from her? It ain't happening. Not in this day and age. Not that women that go to college and have college degrees, it ain't happening. So you need to make yourself, you need to be that dude so that she already knows that submission is not an option. It comes automatic. Y'all have a good one.
Trey got a good night's sleep. He got a good night's sleep last night.
I had a good week of practice, King Spot. Good week of practice.
My man John the Baptist. Is submission a bad thing?
No. Let me go ahead and say this already. To everybody on the panel that's a millionaire, I'm not that guy. I make $35,000 a year, and submission is not negotiable in my house. If you choose to be my wife, if you accept my proposal and you're my wife, we are not negotiating. My masculinity is not for sale. My leadership is not for sale. It's not up for discussion. Now, we can have conversations, but when the final word is said, the final word is said. And that's how it's going to be. So now, and so we need to also learn too, in 2023, a lot of these guys need to understand feminist talking points. Because although it's coming from a man's mouth, it came from his mama first. And a lot of men don't recognize they sound like their mamas when they talk. You gotta learn what your mama's talking and when your daddy's talking. And so because you bounce these feminist talking points, you don't understand that submission is not based on money. Submission is not based on how you feel. And marriage is not about love. Stop talking about love when it comes to marriage. You sound like your mama. Talk about what duties and roles are for. The love stuff come later. I'm done.
His mic is muted. Mic drop. Fantasy Island girl. Is submission a bad thing?
I think submission is not a bad thing. I think it's important for you to be able to submit as a woman to your man when you decide that you're going to be in a relationship with him. I think we're supposed to yield to him. And I think it makes things easier when there's a clear leader in relationships, and it takes out the guesswork. So I think there's benefits that women get to reap, especially in today's age. We can be at home on the podcast, making money, not stressed at the job in this type of situation. And it's something that we didn't have before. So it's not really a threat to be sent back home, back to the house. It's not as bad of a thing when you have something waiting for you there, basically. So I think submission could be great. We should all start getting back on that wave. I know that the feminist wave was very important, popular, whatever, but we've experienced that, and we're ready to move back to doing what our men say and being under our men's leadership.
Indeed. Callie Bev.
God almighty, chaotic truth. I gotta go.
King of the Trolls is here.
Lord have mercy. But no, it's not a bad thing. I would say don't listen to everybody when it comes to how they describe submission. I say that take it on an individual case-by-case basis with the person that you are in a relationship with. King Spark stole my shit because I always say in my household, I get the first say, he get the last say. So King Spark, he stole my line, but it's all good. But yeah, that's all I got. No, it's not a bad thing inherently.
I bet. My man Chaotic said, drop the link, I'm gonna come up. You about to make me late to pick up my baby.
Oh,
go ahead. You real quick.
I happened, salute to you, Trigger Mike. I happened to tune in and I heard vile and vicious statements from Eric. To any young ladies that are out there, please ignore Eric. You are the queen of the earth. You are the queen of the universe. And I have to disagree with some of the other the statements from Trey. Don't go out of the country to get or seek women. The most beautiful, the most upstanding, the most classy women are in the United States of America. So, young ladies, please. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize for interrupting you by my existence. You want to keep on continuing to talk? Okay. So don't listen to these guys like Trey, Eric. You know he's. I can't believe that he's even allowed on these panels. So if you're a young lady, just ignore him. Fantasy Island, I was really upset about what Eric said to you. Just ignore that guy. He is his toxic masculinity. It's really shameful. His toxic masculinity. So that's all I had to say, Trigger Mike. Salute to you, man, and to the panel. Go ahead, guys. You're on mute, sir.
You're on mute.
Yeah, appreciate that, y'all. Thank y'all for coming through today.
Thank
you. All right. My man Chaotic came through. I done brought
absolutely
back. All right, bro. All right, there y'all have it. Feminism. I'm sorry, shit. What's it today? Y'all done derailed me on the topic so many times. Submission is not a curse word. All right, tonight we got on the Lapeef Experience channel. Make sure you go over to that channel right now. It's going to be a banger on that channel. Tonight we have coming up on the Lapeef Experience channel. The topic is the most desirable race. That's going to be a good one. I'm going to be on that panel tonight for all of you Trigger Mike fans that want to see what I got to say on that. Please go over and like this video. Before you leave, like the video. Like the video. Smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm so they know this show is fire and that you like this show. Also, go over to the Lapeef Experience channel, subscribe, and tonight we got Bridging the Gap with Kelly, the most desirable race show. Also, get me to 1,000 right now, y'all. Get me to 1,000 on my own channel. That's where I do shorts. All right, show your support and show some love. Go to Trigger Mike Show on YouTube. Type in @ Trigger Mike Show. Give me a subscribe on my channel right now. That's what I need from y'all. Show your support. You can always catch my shorts to know what topic we're going to be talking about and some clips as well on the Lapeef Network. Thank you for tuning in to the Trigger Mike Show on the Lapeef Network. I'm out. Till next time. See y'all tomorrow.